We fade in from black. No dramatic transition, just darkness that lingers, stretches, and breathes. A hum, low and mechanical, pulses for a moment and then dies. Silence follows. Then slowly the city reveals itself. New San Francisco, a beacon of neon and endless connectivity, a sprawling testament to the technological empire of humanity, is dark. Not just dim, not flickering, but truly dark. The skyline, a once vivid constellation of holographic billboards, corporate towers, and glowing arteries of transit, is now a jagged silhouette against the storm-heavy sky. Only the distant, chaotic glimmers of small fires and panicked flashlights break the void. Then, the first chord of chaos. In the far distance, high above the city's hushed skyline, a sky freight drone loses control. The blue auxiliary lights along its chassis flicker erratically as its power system fails, and then it drops. Silent at first, a free-falling shadow against the stars, before it collides with the edge of a megatower. The explosion, violent and raw, is a herald. A cascade of smaller drones, delivery units, surveillance units, transports, the lot, lose their power and plummet. Some slam into rooftops, some crash into empty streets, some do not miss. High-speed maglev trains freeze in their tracks, some locked in place, others derailing as emergency braking systems fail mid-motion. In the residential zone, entire arcology blocks begin to sense the staleness of the air within the darkness. Their oxygen circulation and environmental control systems shutting off without backup grids to keep them running. Deep underground, in the industrial zones, reactor cooling systems stall, setting off klaxons that only the doomed workers below can hear. And then, a flicker of light. A few seconds after the world goes dark, a second pulse of light ripples through the city, like the last breath of a dying machine. Dim but present, backup lights flutter to life. Low-power LEDs line the edges of buildings like faint after-images of the neon that once ruled the skyline. Throughout the streets, emergency signage flickers, glitching between half-functional warnings and old maintenance updates. For a brief moment, it almost looks like some semblance of order is returning, but those who know better can see it for what it is. A mirage. The last whispers of battery reserves, designed to guide people to safety in a city that was never supposed to fail. And at Central Terminal, as the emergency lights come to bear, they illuminate not salvation, but panic. The camera shifts, narrowing its focus. We see them now. The stranded, the confused, the desperate. Thousands of people choke the platforms and concourses, their faces lit only by the pale glow of emergency lighting. At first, there's only confusion. Transit comms are down. The sleek automated train sits silent on the rails. Digital signage flickers between meaningless static and corporate emergency messages that lead to nowhere. A voice, distant but unmistakable, shouts through the stillness. "Is this a part of the schedule? Someone call the grid authority!" Another voice, closer now, filled with rising panic. "Why aren't the emergency doors opening?" The hum of the backup batteries feeding into the station's security and crowd control measures sputters, then dies completely. Doors lock. Ticket kiosks and information hubs go dead. Then the tension snaps. A surge, a stampede really. as people rush the exits, clawing at default mode locked gates and security doors that refuse to budge. Panic turns to screaming. Some push, some shove, some just try to run. A woman slams her fists against the side of a tram, her reflection a smear of static in the shattered window as she screams for someone, anyone, to fix this. Somewhere in the terminal, a gunshot, then another, and another. Battery-powered dumb systems designed to simply activate in emergencies whir to life, but without corporate guidance, without live overwatch, they default to standard security protocol, crowd suppression. Gas canisters drop. Stun rounds fire from the ceiling. But there is no crowd management in a moment like this. There is only chaos. The masses of people rushing despite the attempt to quell their madness, and in the low light, with one last lingering shot, we see the small hand of a child laying near a doll, as if in one last act of desperation they were attempting to cling to it for safety. Now the camera finds you. Amid the roiling masses of people, amid the failed security measures, amid the dying breaths of the city's once invincible grid, you stand at a precipice you didn't even know existed. The city is unraveling. And for the first time in living memory, the future is not in the hands of those above you. For the first time in living memory, the world is without control. For the first time in living memory, the unknown has returned. And somewhere, in the static of a forgotten emergency channel, a voice whispers, "Burn the chains, or burn the world."
Patty has both of her hands. If we're in the middle of a tight crowd, she's got both of her arms deadlocked on Karen and Krill. No matter what the shit's happening, she's not losing track of her group.
Troy just has his... Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
Karen's not fighting it at all, just
Patty's
also hanging, like, acknowledging, like, yeah, Patty's doing the right thing.
Yeah, Patty's grabbing tight and trying to navigate them out of the worst of the crowd, so they have a moment to breathe. Just trying to push, and she is elbowing, she is shoving. She doesn't care right now. She's like, we need breathing room, we need space to plan.
I need an athletics check from you,
Okay.
and I need a physique check from Karen and Krill.
It's a +1. I'm going to use my friends matter most in this case, saying I'm getting them the fuck out, and I'm going to give myself a +2 here.
Okay.
A +2.
Physique?
Yep.
That is a +2. Hey!
Okay. As this crowd begins crushing Karen and Krill, with the assistance of Patty guiding them, manage to start weaving your way through this crowd, resisting the flood waters that is this crowd in front of Central Terminal that you're attempting to break free from.
Just keep pushing, like, just seeing any space just to get, like, 10 seconds of air, just so we can breathe and know which direction we need to go. She's just pushing as tight as she can. And as she's pushing them closer to eventually, like, her arms are, like, half wrapped around one of their arms, and you can feel, like, a little bit of crushing pressure as she's just pushing through. And she's, whatever is happening, any damage they're going to take, she's going to try and take the brunt of it. She can take that fist in the face. She's pushing ahead. And she's like, keep eyes out. Find a space.
Give me a roll.
That's a +3.
And you have a 1 to your athletics?
Yes.
Okay.
No, 2 to my athletics.
Okay. Patty starts acting as just the point of a spear, pushing your way through this crowd, and you break free into the sort of like space out front, central terminal out front into the road where traffic has come to a dead standstill in this chaos. But you have room, you have maneuverability.
As soon as they get out, she's heard the tear gas canisters off in the far distance, probably. She knows what exactly is happening in this moment, right? She knows that in moments of times like these, like a little bit of her brain kicks in. She's like, all right. And she immediately like keeps one arm on the other as she pulls out of mask, slips it on herself first, and then she's handing over other masks just to protect in case like tear gas, any random elements of chemicals, fumes, anything that comes out. She's just trying to prepare as much as she can.
Give me a resource roll.
That's fine. +1.
Explain to me, justify the existence of those spare masks.
Spare mask, she keeps one on herself for a secondary in case the first one gets ripped, but then she has another one to hand off to someone just in case it's like somebody wounded or suffering from noxious chemicals that needs instant relief. So she has a secondary for herself and then one other just for a patient.
Describe the masks.
It's if you would imagine a modern day N95 mask, but it's high tech. You can see the electronic lights coming on the edges of it, and it's like a gas mask with a lower degree of threshold due to the thinness of the material, but it functions much more effectively than a mask in 2025.
Okay, you can consider yourselves masked for purposes of inhalation, but your eyes are still subject to any effects. So, all right. You are clear. You are in the road. You are making your way. You guys have masks. You are at least aware of and capable and moving. What's Troy doing? Because Troy, you were back at base?
Believe so. I think I was on the net is where I went to go get it.
Okay.
And I think pretty sure he just got shoved back into his body suddenly.
Yep.
Because now the net's offline. And his hand has just been... Well, I guess technically his body freezes up whenever he's on the net. So technically his hand has not been moving. But he just sort of, I don't know, puts his hand on one of the monitors and strokes it down. He is feeling, I mean, he always has felt lost. He's a newborn child, basically, that just got thrown into the world, and now more than ever, he's uncertain. And this time, he actually does feel a tinge of anxiety about the future.
Give me a roll.
All right. That is a -3.
Okay. Troy is used to a cacophony of sounds. Not sounds literally, but much in the same way that a urbanite is used to the ambulances going by.
He's constantly aware of this just cacophony of data flying
Signals
all
and data
fucking around.
transfers and communications hubs and radio beacons and satellite signals and so much more that Troy's constantly hearing, and that is just sort of there, that is sort of the background fabric, right? That makes up Troy's world.
And it's gone.
It is so eerily quiet for Troy right now. In that quiet, you find two things. An overwhelming sense of unease and disgust. It's so unfamiliar, it's so foreign that it tastes wrong. And this may like actually like for the first time, Troy's like may understand what when humans are like, well, like and dislike. Troy dislikes this.
Yeah.
This is you're like, oh, I know what I dislike. This is a thing I don't like.
He's been cut off. He's a being of information that inhabits the world through basically a surrogate body, and he's just been cut off from what he intrinsically understands. He's confused. He's more lost than ever. Even in his toughest times, and in his most unsure times, even that little teeny tiny connection, that little teeny tiny bit of familiar is now gone to him. He knows it's futile. There's no point to this, but he pushes some buttons on the computers, touches some power dials, anything. He feels desperate, and he's never really known what desperate was really like. He's known what it's like to, be desperate to get something completed, be desperate to accomplish something, but this is something else. This is something he was never built to experience. He's not sure how to handle this.
What's our group doing?
Patty has them together, and she's like, okay. Power's out. Quick things running out. Water, food, shelter. We don't know where Troy is. Hopefully he's still at the base. We need to get back to him. She looks directly at Karen in this moment and says, which way do we go? We try to take an exit like everybody else, or do we try to find a way out? That is nowhere else.
I see there's two options. Try and stay above and get down close to where our base is, or go right down right now and just go right there as quickly as we can. I lean more towards option 2.
I would rather not wait in assisting and doing whatever we can for Troy. I can't assume this is comfortable for him. She looks down at her drones who are just sitting in her arms.
Krill, give me a
Internal
roll.
network.
I know. Krill, give me a roll.
+1.
Oh, it's a 3 no matter what? Okay, so it's a 4. One of the things you noticed immediately, there was a lot of varying tech, varying degrees of tech, varying degrees of control, varying degrees of automation, varying degrees of from all the way to the sort of like physical oversight. Somebody usually runs it to the like they just have a predetermined path to the drone thinks its way around, but it's not much thinking, that sort of thing. One of the first things you notice immediately is that whatever has spread out, whatever has happened, whatever has occurred hasn't affected your body and hasn't affected any of your tech that you have constructed.
All the same, because everyone's drones started shutting down, she's going to just hold them instead of letting them float around and draw too much attention.
Patty will turn to her. You need me to carry them?
No, I got these 3 pretty well. Thank you, though.
Can you navigate us through the Undercity? Or, like, lower levels? I can keep us alive. I can keep an eye out, but I need someone to know where they're going. Usually I was in my ear for doing it.
I've looked at the map of NSF enough times to have an actual, like, saved data on it. So yes, absolutely, we can get back as fast as possible.
Are you armed?
No, I am not.
Okay. Karen, do you have an extra firearm on you, or do I need to supply it?
I don't have an extra on me.
Okay. Patty pulls out her taser in this moment. Says, "This is a taser. It's not going to kill anyone, but it can at least temporarily disable them if they get too close to you." She pulls off the safety. There's enough for 20 rounds in there. Here's the extra mag, and keep that on you until we get to the base, okay?
Okay. Appreciate the armament. I'm not too worried, but yeah, no, thank you.
Shit's going down. We need as much protection as we can get. Okay.
I'm gonna be real, everything sounds so quiet.
It's not a good thing. Okay. Patty looks down. What are the tracks for transit like? Is it like set out like a old traditional track that you can like hop down onto?
No.
They're in the
Usually,
sky, aren't they?
I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so one, you guys were already near the front of Central Terminal. Understand that.
Gotcha.
You weren't just off the train. Two, the terminal itself, generally speaking, has multiple levels, multiple areas, multiple sections, but it is very much sort of starfish, right? With sort of arteries coming out of it. And there are routes that go up, there are routes that go down, and there are routes that go straight out. And generally speaking, it's a sort of a 3-wide situation, and you'll see them split off from each other. So there are like maglev rails that absolutely just like go basically up. And then there's ones that plummet down into the lower city. And then there's ones that you can see like while you're out and about in the sort of like surface levels. And there's a fair amount of tracks that come out of here.
Patty's thinking about it for a second. We're not too far from our own HQ here, so as long as we can get to lower levels, we can circumnavigate back. We're going to have to avoid, as soon as we get out of here, avoid at least most major intersections, because that's going to be where the most violent is going to be. Okay. Stick together. If we get in a crowd, link arms, keep touch. Don't ever lose eyesight or even lose 5 feet with each other. Okay?
Aaron grabs on to your upper arm and gives it a squeeze.
Okay.
Krill just follows suit. She
She
reaches more lower arm, not being as tall as Garen.
Patty's just got the firearm. She is fully ready.
No, actually, they're both small.
Yeah, I'm
Sorry.
short.
She's just keeping an eye out at all times. Most of it's probably going to be a mostly wide open space at this point, so she can kind of see everything that's happening as she just starts making her way lower levels, finding a clear open exit. If she sees like more than 5 people at a spot, or no, more 10. If she starts seeing 10 people at a spot, she's like, nope, next spot. Just keep looking until she sees a more relatively exit.
Okay. Give me rolls from all 3 of you, please.
+1. Damn it.
+2.
Zero on the die.
Thank you. So as you make your way through, and down and around, and you start trying to avoid groups. You're trying to avoid various elements of society. It is not, it is, people have started fleeing. Many of them started running just straight up like thoughtless animals, dumb, panicky animal mode, right? And so there are people in corners in disparate locations of the central terminal now where you would normally not necessarily find a whole lot of people. And once the adrenaline surge stops for it just titrates down just slightly in their bloodstream. Now it's confusion, right? And so now you find like random throngs of people in corners and locations where you're just like, what the fuck is going on? But obviously that's what happened. They panicked and now they don't know what to do. Some of them don't even know where they are. They're used to going on autopilot every day. They leave their train, they go to the nearby door. Now they're in a portion of Central Terminal that they don't even recognize. The lights are out and there's bare minimum emergency lighting going on. And you can see it just kind of pulse occasionally, just kind of, it's not holding out well. As you make your way through this, Karen and Krill, you are really just not noticeable. You're just, you have the same kind of general worried look. You look like you're dependent on others. Patty, on the other hand, you have started to notice that there are heads occasionally at a rate that you're not happy with, turning and clocking you, because people are naturally noticing you as somebody who's moving with purpose and somebody who seems like they know what they're doing. And as a result of that, some of these people are looking like they might start following you.
Patty will see that and says, if they get in our way, get them out of there. But if they're just following it, don't bother them. And she'll just keep moving, just eventually trying to find an exit that looks clear enough. As she's moving, right, she's getting the whole survey. Is there, like, even if it's a locked place, she'll, like, look over her shoulder to Krill. If there's a locked exit, can you potentially get it open?
I've got a couple of multi-tools on me that should...
Okay.
Maybe... That's all I can say is maybe.
We just need to we need to reduce the stability of the structure just enough if we can break it. That's all we need.
That I think I can do.
Okay. As they're going around, she'll probably finally find an exit, like 3 or 4 layers down, and she'll look around for a moment as she sees the people behind them. How many people are following us at this moment?
Currently only one.
Okay. She's not going to say anything immediately, but she's like, okay, you start working on that. I'm going to keep an eye on our 6. Okay?
Sounds good. I'm on it.
How many...
And Krill is going to take out a little multi-tool with some screwdrivers and such to see if she can take any panels off.
How many... Describe to me, Patty.
Mm-hmm.
How far down are we going? What's the sort of mode of operation? Like, are you just like, you found a stairwell and you're gonna fucking shoot for it and you're just gonna keep going till you hit a bottom? Are you like, what is the thought process Patty is having, trying to, like, is it just sort of we're gonna pop out and check sections? Or is it we're gonna, like, what?
The directive so far is 1, go a little lower to avoid the worst of it.
Okay.
2, find an open space. She's found the open space.
Okay.
And 3, keep away from big crowds.
Okay.
So if she finds big crowds, then we're avoiding it. But if she can be able to slip out as efficiently as she can without any real hassle, then she will take it.
Okay. You continue to make your way. Give me a roll. Actually, Krill and Patty, give me a roll, please.
Okay. +0.
Okay.
Let's 0.
Karen, give me a roll for a different thing. Where do these dice keep going?
0.
0. Oh. Okay. Karen, the guy who has started to follow your group, kind of cute. You know, in that kind of wounded puppy, sort of lost puppy kind of way. You know, kind of cute.
Okay.
Fucking Krill and Patty. Zeros and zeros. Krill, let's see. Cool. And Patty.
Investigation?
All right. Patty, you do not, you're making your way down. So far, you're still in sort of like common areas.
Mm.
You're in areas that are easily accessible by just sort of general staircases. These are places where people kind of would have been waiting for trains anyway. There are places where people kind of fled to. You're still in common areas. So you're still seeing an amount of people that you're not really comfortable with, as well as you haven't really found anything labeled exit or anything in a direct exit to an outside level yet.
Mm-hmm. We're still roughly the mid-level is probably going to be where the most amount of people throng for their average commute, right?
Yeah.
So we're probably still roughly that level. She's like, okay, we're going to start hitting the lower levels, and she's just going to keep going down until she can see the numbers thin out. Just the slightest bit, just enough where they're not going to be immediately in her face and she's going to have to immediately resort to confrontation, right? In these situations, the least amount of confrontation you can have is the best. Least trouble, least problems. Like, she's ready to put down a motherfucker, but she's trying to save as much as she can until she has to.
You make your way down to the lower levels of Central Terminal, and you're entering like sort of spaces that, yeah, you know, these are sort of the lesser used trains. The, you know, high occupancy, high rate exchanges are usually mid-level, top level sort of thing. A surface level, sort of mid-level, just for traffic flow design purposes. Where you're headed are, you know, some of the rarer trains and some of the ones that head out, and some, you know, the lesser used lines. You start to, this is actually ironically enough, this is like, you know, middle manager territory, because a lot of these sort of locations you find that, you know, a sort of edge case, like, oh yeah, there's been this cluster of middle managers who've clustered in a residential zone, so they have that one section out there and there's a train that goes there. And so you start to see like a lot of sort of shitty suits and that sort of deal, but there are less people and less people as you make your way down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, as they get to those sections, she's like going to immediately search out for an exit. She figures if it's arrayed in the same manner, she can find a relatively easy exit point from the central terminal, and, you know, naturally checking if it's a lower level, if it's less used, is it still same level of quality, is it less stable, or is it kind of just shit?
It's not shit. It's just, you
Okay.
know, less used, less active, less people.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like this is a disused portion of the base of the terminal.
Gotcha.
So yeah, you can you absolutely can like find that down here. It's not like these levels have common exits. These sorts of levels are designed for the sort of trains to come and go and people to go. Like, they're not punting people
People
out
go
into
from the surface level down.
Yeah, people aren't getting punted out into the undercity from
Okay.
these levels normally.
Is there an emergency exit?
I mean, you can start looking around. You can start trying to figure stuff out and trying to figure out the layout of this place.
She's looking for emergency exit. Just searching, trying to find any exit out. Like, it could be normal infrastructure. It could be just emergency exit necessary. Just anything.
You find, I mean, as you're wandering around, you notice that there's a massive ventilation system. You notice that there's like a corroded old service elevator. Like, you're not really noticing anything yet, just by sort of looking around.
Okay. So, not finding an exit, she will at least... Okay. She'll turn to Karen and Grill, says, we at least have some breathing room for the moment. Exits, obviously, are most likely to be surface level at least, but we can at least set up a full plan of what we need to do.
I mean, what we need to do is get back to the base, right?
Yeah. It just... My first instinct was to try and avoid the people. Just get out of the way. Because most likely to crush us, kill us, most likely us to shoot them. It's a whole thing of that I don't want to deal with right now.
Agreed.
I do as well, but I'm also trying to consider our chances of fully avoidance. If people are exiting buildings in masses, how are we going to avoid everybody?
Well, first instinct kicks in, so, if we can't avoid everybody, then we'll just have to make our way. Krill, from what recollection you have, there's any way out on the lower levels, or is it just we have to go surface level? Like, any way to get to the streets, or even at Undercity, we could just crawl our way up from there.
Now, Kai, Krill is clearly the kind of person who would keep to Understreets if it was a means of keeping safe with her old body. Or public transportation. Very little in between. Would she have any better details of the lower levels?
I don't know if she'd have, like... It feels like, I mean... Okay, so it doesn't feel like Krill would have had... Oh, I suppose... Yeah. I could see Krill having some advanced knowledge of some of these spaces, possibly looking to avoid the sort of surface areas. Yeah.
I would share my studies on the sewer system, but I'm not even remotely close to getting that complete yet. Some of it's very outdated.
I'd rather not get lost there right now.
Exactly. However, for the lower levels, yes, I do actually have schematics for it.
Okay. What's the closest route to the Undercity?
Give me your roll, Krill.
-1.
Give me another roll.
-1 again.
Okay. So you're probably a little lower actually than you normally felt the need to go. You've gone pretty far down into this area, but you're aware that if you go back up a floor, there is a tunnel exit off of one of the maintenance door in the maintenance area, just above you. So yeah, there is a way out into just the sub street, and you could navigate your way using that.
Yep, follow me. Come on. Just
All
a
right.
little bit up the... Yeah, just a bit more up the stairs. There's a
Patty
maintenance
will-
room we can go through.
Patty's going to keep beside her, not in front of her, just so she can watch out for any threats immediately, right? Krill's directing, she's still watching for threats. Just noticing anyone trying to fuck with them, trying to... as armed, anything. Just watching.
Give me rolls group around. Yeah, all group. Everybody in the terminal right now. Sorry.
+0.
+1.
+3.
It was worth the wait.
Okay. Hold on, let me check a thing really quickly. Karen, go back there. Pick a number 1 through 3, Karen.
1.
So
I do find it odd. There's all of this quiet. Why is it not quiet over there? Karen
Quiet.
points to a terminal that appears to be still active.
now, Patty, you have one focus.
What?
You are trying to get this group to safety, get them the fuck out of here, get them back to a base where you know you have at least some resources. You have walls that are protecting you. It is a secured location, or at least an area that you have secured, right? Not full of fucking randos that you might have to contend with. This is a distraction that you're in mode, right? Like, this is just some other shit that just need not happen right this second, right? Like, there are people, there are threats, there are roving gangs of lunatics for all you know. And this has just happened.
That's a bullet. That's a fucking bullet. That's asking to be shot. We need to exit. We need to move now. Any deviation from the task is going to get us killed.
Do you not have any curiosity about why this has happened?
My curiosity can exist once we're safe.
Are we in immediate danger right now?
Every minute we take is another minute. Troy doesn't get to get what he needs. The further our group is broken up, the harder it is for us to...
Doesn't Troy have like 3 days worth of battery?
Every minute we waste now is a minute used when we need it.
What if
What
this
is our
is
current problem? We don't know where to go. We don't know how to get out.
Karen, roll a rapport check here.
Zero.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a will.
So you know that's a 4.
Yeah, Karen's
that's a
baseline
4?
rapport is a 4.
Yeah,
Oh,
Karen's
yeah,
report.
Yeah,
is a
okay,
4.
okay. That's fine. Patty, in this moment, first instinct is to say no, but recognize the leader. Okay. But we're not spending more than 3 minutes on that, okay?
Okay. At worst, we can use it as a distraction to get everyone around here paying attention to that instead of us.
You move, I watch your 6. And as they start moving, she's going to keep as close a line of sight on that exit as she can. Just basically keeping an eye out, but also just making sure the exit strategy is still available.
Okay, let's take a look at this.
Give me a roll.
+2.
It dies as soon as you walk up Krill. But Krill is a walking video recorder. So you got to see one flash of what that screen said. You have essentially a frame of it.
And what does my frame say?
DMs, let's go. I'm having a lot of fun right now. This is great.
Power grid node 04 auxiliary active at the stacks.
Would Patty's training recall that at all? At all? Would she know?
Give me a roll.
specifics? Okay. -1.
You have never heard of any of this ever.
That's train speak, not her field. Okay.
Oops.
For my edification, can I have that again?
Power grid node 04 auxiliary active the stacks.
Patty just looks at Krill. Do you know what that means?
Sounds like an auxiliary power node is active. I do not know where the stacks is though.
Something we can tell Troy when we find him, I guess.
Hopefully he'll know what to do with it.
Okay. Are we done with this? Are we good to move?
Yep, nothing left for it.
Gotcha. Patty's still keeping an eye out, seeing if anybody else approaches, someone suspicious, just trying to get them as close to the exit as we can before we try and exit. Is it as walk up to the door, can she just push it open, or is it just electronically sealed?
It is a default mode lock. So basically its default state is locked. It uses electricity to unlock itself.
Can you unlock it?
Actually, quite easily.
Okay.
Krill very gently removes the front panel. She goes to the tip of her finger and using her nail gently makes an incision. As she runs amp, she looks specifically for what looks like the positive or negative receiver and gives it a positive charge.
Give me a roll. It unlocks.
0 on the dollar. Pardon?
It unlocks.
As soon as it unlocks, Patty will immediately get in front, put Krill behind her, and says, okay. And
Okay, it's not
then
like I don't have a shell. But thank you. I appreciate the worry.
it's just training. And she'll just open the door, take a peek to see what's going on. Anybody visible, anything going on.
Give me a roll.
Okay. +0.
Give me one more roll.
lot of rolls tonight.
Yeah.
-2.
You see something that you wish you didn't see. And in that moment, you know it saw you too. There is a squad of Varangian moving through this area with purpose. These are not panicked civilians. And they seem to know something and have a mission. And as you poke your head, as you just carefully look, one of them, who's on Overwatch as well for the group, clocks you.
There's this pause in the space as time kind of dilates for her, as the adrenaline kicks. As she's seeing, does she see the slightest movement to raise or even fire the firearm? Is it just view, or is it automatic fire, like going to automatically shoot?
They are not. It looks like the purpose of this group is directional. They have an objective, and you aren't it, but it is definitely weapon at ready, with an eye line established, and if anything pops up, and you see the person running point drop a person as they head through this tunnel.
Are they heading towards us?
No, they are already sort of past you in the tunnel.
Okay, that's fine. Just let them slide on. Don't make any sudden movements. Just let them see us. Don't do anything. And as soon as they're out of line of sight, the breath releases, and she's like, "We have Varangian, close quarters, nearby, not immediate threat. We need to get out of the area as soon as fucking possible." And as she's listening as intensely as she can, she's waiting for the footsteps to go out. She is desperately listening.
Give me a roll.
+0. Let me think. Is this an investigate roll or a notice roll?
In this sort of like, it's Overwatch. You're trying to look for everything, not one thing in particular. So it's notice, not investigate.
Okay.
I mean, it makes no difference.
So in this moment, do I use that second fate point? They weren't immediately onto us. Think I'm good just to let it sit for 10 seconds. Just 1020 30 20 30 40 50. As soon as she gets to this 80 90 10, and then as soon as she's pretty sure, she couldn't tell, like she lost track after like the first 2 seconds, she'll be like, "I believe the coast is clear. Let's move." And she's going to open the door, and she's going to prop it open, and then she's going to slap on an emergency patch on the inside of the terminal, just as a quick if you see this is an exit for any people passing through here. Just slap it on real quick, just as a trying to be helpful, but the I couldn't give less of a shit about you right now moment.
Okay.
And as soon as that's done, she's like, "Let's move." And we'll just start immediately heading out with Krill's direction to find a way to get back up to the surface to get towards the base. As she's like walking, you can hear the footsteps. She's kind of
you just cut out entirely.
okay.
Okay, I thought
sorry.
I was a little crazy there that
The
time.
mic's being a little weird. But as soon as like the first footstep, you can hear the patter as she's keeping overwatch. She's paying attention. You can see as she looks up, she's like, "We're gonna get there soon, Troy." And the camera shifts over to Troy.
I mean, there's not really a whole lot that Troy can do in this situation. He's kind of in panic mode, trying to do what he can to, well, keep his circuits from running into overload as he's suddenly cut off from everything, basically. Even though the base is dark, he can see well enough. He doesn't like have night vision, but his, sensors have infrared and stuff. He doesn't have any issues navigating the mostly windowless base, at the very least, but nothing's on, nothing's active, there's no data connections that he can connect to. Out of curiosity, he slowly slides open the front door and just sort of peeks outside.
For the first time in the last couple weeks, at least, you find an alcove. You find an area that is not being inhabited by hipsters or food tourists. So at the very least, your base seems to be relatively quiet. This particular alleyway isn't a major road. It's not, it's barely fucking drivable. You scrape the sides of a vehicle trying to come down here. And it's not heavily trafficked. So this is actually cleared out and it seems relatively calm. Give me a roll.
All right. That's a -2. I'm off to a great start.
Yeah, it's just calm alleyway. You hear you hear the amount of time that it took for Troy to fucking deal with and come out. There's still the occasional you hear gunshots in the distance. You hear you hear a car alarm go off, you hear an explosion, you can hear the sort of the cacophony of a city lit afire with the people going mad with uncertainty off in the varying distances as it echoes and reverberates down the alleyways and off of the concrete structures around you.
Normally, the cacophony of the city is not very upsetting to Troy. In fact, it just kind of disappears to him as there's always something going on. It isn't even the first time he's heard gunshots in the background. Pretty sure the few weeks he spent at the base, he's heard quite a few of them just go off randomly for no reason. Or at least no reason that he can tell. But combined with the lack of data, the lack of context, or well, technically he has a little bit of context as to what this is or what this is likely to be, adds to, for once, that is its noise that he is uneasy about. And yet he can't seem to turn away from it because at this very moment it's the only input he's getting. Since the alleyway seems a little bit clear, he takes a further step out, drenching himself in the usual oily poo water that has pretty much just permanently stained his cheap suit.
Give me a roll.
All right. That's a -1. I'm getting better.
There you go. Okay, keep going.
he just walks out and just kind of listens. The noises of the city being the only input he's getting, and just has this weird need, this compulsion to get input and new data. And it sort of just is driving him a little bit out of the base into the alleyway. Is Jigu at his stall?
The stall is locked up. The gates are down. The sort of the rolling shutter that closes off the stall has been dropped. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. There's like a little bike or like a little kiosk thingy that he usually serves from, right?
Think wall, open, seats, back area.
So there's nothing for him to really explore. It's all locked up then.
I don't know.
Roy, I don't know, just feeling the need to not sit around and do nothing just feels a compulsion to go walk towards Zigu's kiosk. He's always really ignored it. Or, Zigu's little noodle stall thing. I don't know, is there like a container that he can pick up and open or something?
Look at the map.
I am looking at the map. There's like a little bike there, isn't there?
I mean, that's from your very first encounter there.
Yeah, I know.
So, bikes are long gone. Remember that one of them exploded?
No, not that bike.
Okay.
It looks like there's like a... I always thought Jigu's little stall here was like some kind of little kitchenette thingy attached to the back of a bicycle. But am I not reading that right?
It evolved.
Okay. I had a feeling. See, I don't know. Troy's just kind of examining this for the moment, partially to pass the time, partially just a desperate hint or desperate attempt to find some kind of context to this quiet chaos that he's now suffering. He, looks at the big neon sign, the closed door, and just kind of can't seem to find anything that he needs. And so he steps out into the main alleyway where you access the little secondary alcove that the base is located in. And I don't know, looks around. I'm going to guess it's probably still about the same, mostly empty, mostly just
looking down the alley, you can see that there are throngs of people like moving in groups at this point, and you can see a stampede go by, and you can see a straggler go by for sure.
Roy takes a cautious step down the alleyway to go get a better look at this cascade of movement. Keeping some distance, he doesn't want to draw too much attention to himself, though.
You head down the alleyway. What are you looking for?
Well,
Troy sees humans at their worst. He sees them panicking. He sees them unintelligent. He sees them animalistically operating. They're going on sheer instinct. There's throngs of people moving by, but what do you want?
Well,
there's
part of me's just not really sure what the hell to even do in this scene. So I guess in this case, I think Troy's instincts are probably to, already cautious of strange humans. He sort of just delicately backs away, slinking back into the little alleyway.
Okay.
Um, um, just kind of propping himself up on the wall as he's just trying to process what's the next step. What can he do? Should he wait, or is there something he should do?
Give me. No, I don't want to roll for it.
Okay.
You see a percentage decrease on your battery.
Troy had kind of predicted this. He slowly and methodically, using as little power as possible in this situation, starts slinking back into the base. And as soon as he's in, he just finds a nearby chair and sits down. For now, the only thing he can think of to do is conserve power and wait for his friends to get back.
What are those friends doing?
So you want to take us south up at this corridor. Then we're going to sneak through a very thin alleyway on the east. And then it should be just a little bit more south, and we'll be coming out in a, like, accessory hatch nearby.
Roger. Kai, as they had been making their moves, right? Like, she'd probably posted up at a corner at this point as Krill's relaying the directions. Had she seen any more Pharangian?
Give me a roll.
Okay. -1.
No.
That's both good and bad. And Patty is following the directions, just following which route Krill is giving as they're making their way. And then as like they follow that last little series of directions. And the way is up now. We got the route to go to the surface.
I'm sorry, I'm actually having, like, Discord technical difficulties. All of that got cut out for me, and I could tell y'all could hear her, so
Okay.
it was on my end there.
Basically just the route's up now, or do I just keep going?
No, it should be up these very steep stairs. Look at that. I would have sucked walking with my old body. Anyways, yeah, just up here.
Okay.
That's called a ladder.
Oh,
No,
what a
but there's
thrill.
like
These stairs
there's
are
like
these stairs are
only used
vertical.
in, like, God damn it.
Is there just a ladder that goes up to the surface level, or is it just steps?
I was thinking, like, way too steep steps for the sake of it being, like, engineering spaces. Just being like, we need steps. There you go. Like, break your neck shit, but ladders also work.
I don't care. I just give you shit.
It's a step
Alright.
ladder. I get it.
Alright.
Yes.
Okay.
I've seen
Karen?
stairs like that.
Karen, you want me to watch the 6, or you want to watch take point?
I'm going to be focusing on getting up these.
Okay. You head up there, keep an eye out. I'll watch our backs as we're making the last bit up. Krill, stay in the middle.
Got it.
And they just start making their way up, just trying to get to the surface level as clean, as efficiently as they can.
You're on the lead? You're on point?
No, she's taking the back. She's keeping an eye on the back side.
Okay, Karen, give me a roll.
God damn it.
You could just keep the dice in the box.
She's trying to get them to glow in the dark consistently, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I was trying to for a while I was like, what is going on with this? But then I put it together.
Fucking light. Just gonna shut it off anyway.
There we go.
0.
So there's a hatch, like there's a metal hatch on the top, and you go to push it open, and it does not budge.
What's the issue?
Hatch no working.
Does it have any give or none? Okay. Krill, can you get it open?
I can try. Yeah, why not? Krill, one walking past them, just has a thought to herself. Okay, this body's not built for strength. Are we going to be able to do this? I don't know if we can do this, but let's try.
Just
let's try.
get it
Right.
unlocked. I can push.
0 on the die.
It's not locked. It's just heavy.
Everybody, together. That might be how we get this.
Okay. Patty is just going to push up towards the front and then just shove with her shoulder. Just heave into it.
Give me a roll.
All right. Come on.
We're assisting.
That's +2.
Should be from another +2 if we're assisting.
So that is
right?
a +4 to a +2, which is a +6. The hatch creaks and groans and gives way and falls open.
Patty's immediately just looking out any threats. Just immediate signs of danger.
Yeah, actually, there's a fair few of them. The street is not empty. The street is not, there are, it seems to be at this point that there is still like confused onlookers. There are opportunists operating. There probably like seems to be some organized gangs. There's some looting happening. There's at least one Varangian fucking squad somewhere on the loose in this general area. At least they may be a floor down or somewhere at this point, but you're aware that they're around. There's burning wreckage of crashed vehicles and crashed drones that scattered around. Nothing is safe.
Pure fucking
Can
chaos.
I make a roll?
Yeah.
I'd like to roll to see if there's any expensive drones crashed around here.
Go for it.
0 on the die, so put a +3.
Well, I mean, expensive. I don't like a lot of things are expensive in NSF. Now there is there is a NSF police drone that has fallen from the sky that's laying relatively close to you. There's, there are some cargo drones that fell as well, but you'd have to go investigate.
Not fucking with that police drone. That's bait. Krill. Okay, so if anyone has noticed, Krill is seemingly in a good mood. Not her normal paranoid self. She seems to be very oddly calm here. And just kind of with a gleeful skip, walks over to one of those cargo drones and decides to look to see how damaged it is.
It's pretty fucking damaged. It took a swan dive from, a couple thousand feet up.
So likely optics and its internal processing systems just fried.
I mean, return to the state of sand from whence they came.
Listen, the main thing she's looking are the fucking cargo arms meant for carrying goods still intact, and is its propulsion system intact?
Give me a roll.
Okay.
Let's see how Lady Luck likes you.
It's a +1. I don't get pluses very often.
Let's look
since
at your
last session
resources.
decided.
That's a 4.
He feels benevolent.
You have a 4 on your resource. You have a 3 on your resources. So I mean that's a great roll. What do you want from it?
The powerlifting arms and the propulsion system.
They're yours.
Sweet. Girl just picks up the drone and is like, okay, let's get going.
Patty's annoyed and just opens up the bag. Just stuff it in. Let's move.
Okay, let's go.
And then she's annoyed, but she's like, she's alive. We're good. And where we are right now, recognize now where they are at.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Then just booking it as close as she can to the base. Just we're dead center, basically. Just move.
The alleyway smells like home.
Everybody, give me athletics checks.
+2.
+2.
0.
I think we're actually getting some rolls tonight, though.
Shush.
Karen is lagging behind. Karen is not necessarily keeping up, and you are having to moderate your speed to accommodate Karen.
Patty's keeping behind Karen as slow as she's going and just trying to like get her moving, but also knows that if she starts pushing her, she'll get pissed. So just let her go. And eventually the base will just open up the side door.
You find your way around. Essentially you ended up coming out on the sort of west side of Central Terminal, and you wrap around through the road system, and as you get to the you take the road and you get to that alleyway, and right as you get up to that alleyway, there's a small gang of like, I don't know, looters / sort of desperate civilians. It's sort of nebulous at this time. You're not really able to clock them immediately as to like the nature of this group, but whether it's like just opportunistic or desperation, you're not really sure. But as soon as you come up to that alleyway, they sort of clock the three of you moving, and one of them looks at you and says, nice gear, hand it over.
Patty sees that, immediately pulls up the firearm and says, I will give you to the count of 3 before I start shooting.
Give me a roll.
1. Okay.
Can I
+2.
assist with Krill's eyes just flickering red, looking at these absolute body bags?
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Karen has her hand on her gun in her purse.
Karen, give me a roll.
Is Karen still far behind?
No, she's
+2.
No, I was going to subtract whatever her negative roll might have been. You look squishy.
+6 plus a help.
Yeah, actually
7.
7, which puts you at epic. This is a gang of it's not even a gang. This is a group of like street people who have taken to like opportunistically start looting and taking what they feel is theirs and what they need. They've got like faces wrapped in like basic like towels and their own fucking shirts at this point, just trying to like, they don't know what they're doing. They're just sort of figuring this out as they go. This is sort of their first time. And so the sight of Patty's professional demeanor and Krill's little eyes flicking off like that, and they immediately, sorry, man, sorry.
As that's happening, she's directing the rest of her group inside. We'll take out the half-drunk water bottle and just toss it to them. You're going to need this. And then just immediately goes inside and closes the lock.
Yep. That's fine. If I were playing, I'd have robbed him. But it's 100% me.
Patty has this thing called empathy. It kicks in even when she's in full mode.
Krill is a little on your side there, Kai, but she was more loot the bodies.
Fair enough. Yeah, they back off immediately. One of them grabs the water bottle, and they sort of take off.
They didn't have good enough shoes for me to steal.
Fair enough.
Oh, but it would have been so fun.
You enter the base, and you just notice Troy sitting silently in a chair.
Creepy.
It's in the dark, by the way, just in the dark. But your eyes have adjusted somewhat at this point.
Technically, Troy's eyes don't really glow, but there is like just this faint little shimmer behind them from all the from just having electronics and stuff. It's faint, but it's now pitch dark.
So there's two things that happens for Patty. One, she'll take that breath, pull off the sunglasses, and then slips the gun away and immediately turns Troy and then just sees him, and then she'll immediately like hightail and just fucking wrap her arms around him and then like pull back. Are you okay? Any damage?
Well, first of all, you already noticed there's a change in Troy's demeanor. Troy has always had this somewhat kind of stoic, detached blankness to his face. Every once in a while, an eyebrow would perk up or something like that if something interested him. But otherwise, there's never really been a strong expression on this face. And you just see... It almost seems like Troy's having a hard time actually articulating a relatable expression on his face. Whatever the hell is going on in his head, it is a new thing, and it is possibly the closest to a genuine emotion that he's been able to process for a very long time, or possibly even for the first time. It's kind of hard to tell. But as soon as Patty says his name out loud, there's just sort of this shift in his face where almost like his facial muscles are putting his face back into place. And he perks up a little bit and sees Patty and just accepts the hug and states, "No, I have not received any physical damage."
Good. How's your power systems going?
I'm currently at 97% power.
How many hours do you have?
I have probably about 38 hours of power left.
Okay.
Is that right? Or is that 70? Is it 38 or 72 that's 3 days? I can't remember.
72.
Thank you. I have about 72 hours of power left.
Okay. Patty, that they're now immediately out of the worst of it, is just going to crash into a sheet and then just down her entire flask. It's just all going down. Just... Okay. Okay. Check-in. How are we all doing?
Having a pleasant day.
Okay. A little annoyed. I know my favorite pumps will be already gone. We'll loot them first.
Oh, but it sounds so fun.
I'm
Maybe
not
they
saying
have
I'm
more
not
in the
gonna
back.
loot. It's like my favorites. Ah. Oh well. Better to be here, I guess, than dead in a ditch somewhere. Now, what to do?
You wanted us here, Patty. You thought this was the safe zone. We do not have an electric grid. defense system on one door, and the other is a mechanical lock that we luckily have a manual override for.
I did my job, okay? I got us where we needed to go. I got us to group. Shit's going down. Somebody, something, someone, just some people just shut the shit down. People are dying, people are burning, people are hunting. Varangian are out in the streets. It's full fucking chaos right now.
I didn't ask earlier because I think I knew the answer, but for our two little friends who can actually poke around on anything esoteric, is there anything going on? Is there any signals at all? Or is everything offline?
I can open up my wide range bandwidth and see if I can see anything.
I'm receiving no data signals of any kind.
Okay.
Can I make an investigation check to see if I see anything subtly out there, Kai? Or is this like there's just absolutely nothing?
You know the deal. You want to poke the game engine, poke the game engine.
Even if I rolled a -2, so even if it was out there, not finding it.
You make a sweep, looking for signals. There's nothing anymore. People have started to like take to basic radios and stuff like that have their own batteries and that sort of thing. There's a lot of chatter, but nobody knows what's going on. Nobody seems to be in control. You're not getting any any arcology announcements, no GAC announcements, no NSFPD announcements. So, just the occasional chatter of the odd person who happens to have like a literal radio. So it's not very, it's not a lot of it, but there is some of it, and it's an eclectic bunch.
What are the chances I can catch the Varangians radio?
I mean, the chances, I don't know. I'm not a betting man, but are between the two of you, is it possible? Yes.
Trey, help me try and find this military group Varangians radio signals. They're the only ones who seem to know what they're doing out there, and I want to get an idea of what's going on.
I can only make an attempt.
If we link up, we can probably assist each other.
It would at the very least be something to do.
Girl goes into the laboratory real quick and just grabs the link cable and her claw gun while she's at it.
One of Troy's fingers just kind of pops open, and there is an appropriate socket to plug into.
Krill in the back of her neck. Troy's finger.
Karen, roll a will check.
Zero.
Yeah, Karen, you are all the levels of appropriately entertained by this. This is Krill is getting finger necked. Like,
I was always wondering which one of you would be the top. Now I know.
Krill just slowly turns to look at Karen. No. Disgusting.
This is not a sexual act, Karen.
Not with that attitude.
I do not wish for it to be that.
Troy looks over to Krill and states, normally I would request or ask if you would prefer if I add some attitude to this. However, considering the current circumstances, I would prefer to keep this platonic.
Oh, rejected already.
While you're
What?
getting on,
Sort of awful evil machinations is running through that brain.
I was originally designed as a sex robot.
is this what we're focusing on right now?
Troy, you are somehow the sweetest boy all the time. And I know you are absolutely capable of that. I still can't imagine you doing that at all. It seems impossible. You feel like a brother to me. Which, Karen, what the fuck?
I always knew she came from somewhere. I don't know
Technically,
where
I
was going with
can.
that.
Never mind.
Let's focus back in, y'all. Find some signals. Do you think whoever did this is relaying a signal right now?
So,
I don't know. I was trying to see if those Varangian fucks were doing a signal, because that might give us some intel.
give me whoever's doing the primary work. Give me a roll. And just tell me what you're after, what your thought process is on that, and whoever's assisting can assist. Or if you want to do some sort of combined roll, I will allow it. But we're gonna have to do some work. So tell me what you're thinking.
What's your investigate?
My investigate, I do.
Okay.
It's 1.
I have no idea what's going on. Why is everything cutting out for me? Sorry?
My investigate is 1.
Okay, I'll make the roll.
Right.
With a +3. If you can assist me, Troy, we're gonna check deep and looking for military activity.
Would Patty, with at least the bare minimum levels of training, be at least able to narrow the search level for them? Just like know what bandwidth that they typically go with?
No.
Nope, cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I just asked.
So you know, how comms on that level actually operate is a thing called frequency hopping.
Ah.
Yeah. So give me a roll, and
As a +0, but I will invoke my high concept, mechanical marvel, medical monstrosity, to give us another +2.
so
Can
that's
I invoke a something to add a +2 to that?
I mean, what you thinking?
I was thinking you merely adopted the net. The idea here is, at the very least, Troy is familiar with how signals work, how data is transmitted. He might even have, to certain extents, a concept of signal hopping and know to, check some changing frequencies.
So 7, legendary. Sorry, not legendary, epic. You are able to detect a nearby encrypted, frequency hopped signal. You do not know for sure if it's Varangian or not. There are no identifying markers to this. But it is a tightly encrypted signal, and it is a frequency hop signal that is bouncing around with a randomness and regularity to that randomness that obviously it is not that easily to be. It is designed to not be easily monitored. From this, you gather that if you had maybe 2 other points of monitoring, you could probably follow this signal. But you right now can see that there is a signal, and it is of a strength that it's not too far away. Grand scheme, it's not across the city. It's somewhere relatively what could be described as in the neighborhood.
Want to go for a walk?
Are you sure that is wise?
Do not follow the Varangian.
It's either that, or Troy, you're going to do you want to play with a very probably complicated puzzle?
Elaborate.
The signal's encrypted. We could try and run as many options as we can quickly to see if we can de-encrypt it, but I doubt it.
I can always make the attempt, but I cannot guarantee any success. Encryption is even a relatively low-level encryption can take potentially years to decrypt.
And I have a feeling that would eat up your battery.
That is also a concern, possibly my primary concern.
Talking about that, we're going to have to figure out something to start supplementing that at least. I've got a basic pack back in my apartment. I've got a solar-powered minor battery just for a radio, which could help, but we'd have to get to my apartment, and it's a seal like any other apartment door, so it's going to be hard to get in the place.
I also have a secondary concern to say. If what this is what I think it is. The last thing that should be seen is me.
Kai, me and Troy are still linked up, right?
Hmm? I mean, if you wish it to be,
Can I
yes.
attempt to try and charge him?
You can.
All right, Troy, just sit still for a second. I have an idea.
Break him. Don't break him.
I would like to try and push for that being a crafting roll, being that this would be her mechanical knowledge coming through here.
And with that mechanical knowledge, you know that you are attempting to push you're attempting to utilize a data jack in his fingertip to for the purposes of essentially what is usually required a mains power connection. Troy is fairly power hungry and is used to a fairly large pipe delivery. And his fingertip is a data jack that is intended to simply be used as a ad hoc device access means.
Troy ain't a smartphone here.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Finger's not enough. He needs more than that.
Yep.
Krill just kind of lets out a sigh and thinks. And looks to the pile of trash, trying to remember exactly where it was. Okay, I do have a spare charging head I could replace this cable's end with. I can do that with my hand tools. I don't need to run the arms for that. I could attempt to try and charge you. because I can eat and convert that to raw power.
Do we have a crank motor? See if we can just do it the old-fashioned way.
I just said I could eat,
Yeah,
and
I
that
was.
alone would be a battery.
My one concern is about draining you too. So if I can help supplement that in any way. I don't know, Troy. I'm just trying to help. Just
I usually require an input voltage of at minimum 110 volts and a maximum of 120. For European outlets, of course.
okay. In the meantime, how much food do we have lying around here? How much water? Do we have enough to last the week?
Give me a roll.
Okay. +0. We source some food at the base.
No, you don't. You have never
No,
narrated.
this is
No, we
actually
had some of your shakes.
I mean,
Not a lot.
Shakes.
Not a lot. I was just saying.
the shakes were being delivered by
Pure
drone.
nutrients.
Were they
Yeah,
not?
I
also
thought we
the
had it in
shake.
the storage spot.
No,
Yeah.
I did put like a shake or two in the like tiny fridge we have for samples. They would have gotten 8.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
They were old Krill's
This-
only food consumption.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
just figuring out how much we have. That's it.
You keep. There are maybe some leftover noodles in a rotting to-go container.
Okay.
This
That's
is
fine.
at no point have you guys stockpiled anything or none of that has been done.
Because we didn't need to.
Well,
There's only
don't
one
have a
permanent resident
kitchenette.
of the base, and
Yeah.
he doesn't eat.
exactly.
Yep.
He does.
Krill lives there too.
He just doesn't have that food source anymore. Yeah, Krill moved in.
And the
But
kitchenette's not done yet.
but no. You have maybe some sodas, you have maybe some water, you have like that sort of stuff. But not much, nothing that will get you through the caloric demands of a day, most certainly.
We have like 4 bottles from the 24-pack that she's been drinking through during her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She just basically just pulls the 4 bottles and just puts it on the table and says, "That's all we got. We don't know how long this power's going to be out. Shit's going to start getting fucky. So either we gotta, in these situations sometimes, not often, but in emergency situations, local authorities can have emergency distribution centers, but that's going to burn out quickly. If I know you've got those kids that stole from us, then maybe you hooked up with, I don't know. You've got something on that end. Maybe Ijigu's just stored high, crazy, fucking conspiracy. I don't know.
The Scolies are around, but I imagine that they are, if I was them, locking down and not talking to anybody.
It might be our best route to know what's happening on the ground, at least. We need as much ears on the ground, and Troy's
Worth a
out of
shot.
commission because all this shit's happening right now.
It's worth a shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bridges are still burned at MedTech, so can't likely get any supplies off them.
So, my means of connecting with the Scullies is to find a kid while wandering around. Now, I don't really want to be wandering around right now.
We check
No.
on Ziku?
Jigu has currently locked up his stall.
Well, that's just a sensible business decision.
What's the plan here, Karen?
We need food.
Yeah.
We need power. We need water. We don't have them here, so we need to find them. Now, the number one thing we can do, we could take it. Easiest to take it from someone else.
What
But
about your
we have-
apartments?
We'd have to get there.
Understood.
My apartment's on the other side of this district, so we'd be going through a lot of fire in that moment.
And mine is on the other side of a lot of shopping. All of which is, I'm sure, very interesting right now.
So we will have to concentrate on potentially local sources.
Yes.
Corner store that's just up the way. Probably has been decently looted, but still worth a check.
I say the sooner we get there and the sooner we get something, the better.
All right.
Krill just lifts up the claw gun. Let's go then.
To the
Hey.
corner store.
Pulls out the firearm, turns off the safety, and just goes to the side door and unlocks it. All right. Open on 3. 1, 2, 3. And it just opens up, the metal ringing as she goes and checks.
You coming with Troy?
Troy just looks at all three of you and looks at himself and just asks, "Should I come with you?"
No.
No, he could be looted. He could be attacked.
Save your energy as well.
That is a good point. I'll keep watch of the base then.
Can you hop signals? Are you able to do the same thing like you do with the net shit?
Not in this current state. I was only designed to receive low power data signals. I required Krill's assistance to find higher power radio signals.
Not meant to
Well,
be
then
an
how about this?
antenna.
I'm afraid not.
Can you
How about
hook up
this?
one?
Can you at least keep the drones company? As 3 of them in very obviously low power mode. Like just kind of putter and fly up to Troy.
I will do my best.
Think about maybe ways you can get in touch with the signal, because maybe you can still be our eyes in the sky, just different.
I'm currently
And-
keeping my data ports open.
Another
And-
thing that you might do while we're gone is, I'm assuming there was some kind of message that went out to shut everything off. If you could look back in your logs at the moment where everything did shut off, if there's any blip or something you recorded.
My data recording processes are quite vast. It will take some time, but I suppose it will be And if I want to do this in a timely manner, I would require a power source. Right now, I am currently operating at minimum efficiency for the sake of power conservation. It would take me a while. But it would at the very least be something to do. And for some reason, I find myself compelled to occupy myself.
We'll be back in a little bit.
I will be
And
anticipating your arrival.
as we exit out, just close the metal door and just start keeping an eye out, just watching down the alley, watching the corners, just making sure that nothing's going to surprise them, making sure they're just quickly making their way to the corner store.
Okay, give me rolls, all three of you.
+2.
+3.
-2, which makes a total of 1, though.
We got a 3 from Karen. That's we're doing stealth rolls. We're establishing.
Oh, shit.
We're establishing yourself.
-1 for me then.
Okay, so Karen with a 4.
Or, sorry, actually, I'm a 0. I'm a 0.
Okay, Krill with a 0.
saying.
Karen with a 4. And
Nobody's seeing me.
you were a
Just
2.
2.
You were 2. All right. You look over and Karen has changed her outfit and it's like sort of like it's a dark navy gray sort of situation, but it's like got textures and it's broken up, and all of a sudden she has like face paint on. You're just like, what the fuck? Like, she was normal when she was in the base. It's just you walked out that door and just all of a sudden she just
What?
just stealth mode. You make your way down. You make your way down the alleyway. You start to head around the corner, and let's see. Here's my other event table. There we go. You make your way around the corner, and you start heading up the street. What are you doing to? I mean, we know what Karen's doing to keep her head down, because she's functionally invisible to the average person. What are you doing, Patty? Because you're leading the way, right?
Mm-hmm. Patty is very much keeping an eye on every direction. So, like, as soon as they approach a corner, like into another alley, stop, check. And then seeing nothing, she'll quickly move across. Basically, she's keeping her movements efficient, but also very careful. So just making sure that whatever they do, not going to draw too much attention, and what little risk they take in this moment is just necessary, nothing unnecessary.
Karen, you're feeling pretty, like, you're looking around. Because you're not that concerned about getting seen. Your stress level's a little lower. You're just like, I'm gonna take an opportunity to peer around. It's not every day the entire city goes dark. And you've reset, right? You've been at base, and you're like, okay, we're doing a thing. We're going to point A to point B. We're gonna loot. We're gonna go back to point A, that sort of thing. So you just you're looking around. You see, like, over there, you're pretty sure you see, like, I don't know, maybe it might be Rogue. I don't know. Like, but it's some sort of military drone over by the central terminal. It seems operational, but like kind of damaged, maybe. I don't know. But it does seem operational.
And is that in the same-ish direction we're heading, or is it off in another one?
It's over there to the left,
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good probably 500 meters away, but you can just sort of make it out. You're like, what's going on with that?
Patty will stop and she'll like look over her shoulder, probably see Karen looking up. You see something?
Drone. There's actually one flying. I think. Sort of. It's kind of messed up.
Wrong with
Can
it.
I do a zoom in and see what I get out of it? +3 from my effects, not on the die.
It doesn't seem like it's a threat. I mean,
I'm really up and up on models. Is it like, can I tell, is it not just military, but like this is a combative drone, this is a like eyes in the sky drone? What am I looking at?
You're looking at a forward observation drone.
Gotcha. Okay. That's a scout. So it very well could have seen us, but it's not going to do anything more than just scouting. Any information it's found, it's already back at its operatives.
As long as we don't get in whatever way that thing belongs to, we'll be good.
Okay. Well, it's good to know that they're still poking around up there in the sky.
City goes down, entire military is prepared. They are always the ones prepared.
Hey, Patty.
Hmm.
Give me an advantaged roll.
Okay. It's a +0. The -2, so +0. What stat am I rolling with?
Well, we were rolling lore.
Okay. Then
Oh.
Aaron, would it be worth using the second fate point to think about this?
Um, 50-50. It might be useful to keep it because we're still
Got it.
doing something.
Flip a coin. If it's heads, we're doing it.
It is tails.
Then we're saving it.
Okay. Then you guys keep pushing forward towards the store. As you get to the store, I mean the windows are just gone, like just gone. Like they might as well have been cut out and just removed. They are so shattered, so cleaned out. Like, you know, they're just whew. The contents are still being picked over by a group of about 10 looters.
As Patty's sitting there for a moment, she'll turn over her shoulder and says, I don't want to have any conflict with anybody. I can offer medical help in exchange for supplies.
Lead also works too.
Which one do you want to lead
And
with?
molten hot plasma is a great third option.
If they don't bother us, we don't bother them.
Okay. She's gonna keep the firearm held as she just takes that step, the glass crunching under her boot as she very loudly steps inside. Just the unable to avoid that noise.
So far, it looks like nobody's really paying you any mind. They're busy picking over the remnants of the store, and there's sort of, you know, there's a couple of them that seem to be acting in unison together. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of organization going on here between the people, but there does seem to be sort of like, I don't know, maybe a loose agreement.
In this moment, I have an idea, but Patty's first instinct is to find in that somewhat the one who looks the most injured, just noticing that one, just observing it.
Okay. I mean, give me a roll.
Okay. +0.
None of them seem too terribly injured at the moment.
Okay.
There's no one. There's no one bleeding out. There's no one limping. There might be some scrapes and cuts amongst the group, but they're generally, just scrambling to clean out
No children.
what little bit of the coolers and the shelves still remain.
Yeah. She'll just look over her shoulder. Water first, food second. And she'll split just to try and comb over it wherever available. Just looking.
Okay. Everybody give me your dealer's choice. You can give me a resource or an investigate.
+0, investigate for me.
I literally doesn't matter which one I choose,
Probably investigate.
but I'm gonna try resource for this one. Still a +3.
-3.
Ooh.
So that's a -2 for you, right, Karen?
Yes.
Or a -1.
It would be a -1 because it'd be investigate.
Okay. So
I haven't used any of my fate points yet. I could use one now.
Alright. It's up to you, man.
I know how to take care of us. I'm here for the group. I'm here for our stuff. I'm here to help out, not just me for once.
Okay. You gonna reroll or
Reroll.
okay?
Is that
It's a
-4?
-2. No, it's a
Oof.
-2.
So
It's better
0.
It's an improvement.
It's an improvement.
God damn it.
So Patty and Karen come back with like some like out of a box of like, just like fast food, junk food sort of thing. There's like one package still in the box sort of territory. Like there's a ho-ho in the bottom of the box, that sort of territory. Krill circles around and has like an arm full of like water cases that you found stash under the like desk by the cash
And
register.
a Twinkie.
What?
And a single Twinkie.
There you go.
Goddamn Twinkie. That will do. And Patty will just take it off her hands.
I agree how useful this is. I also desperately am in need of calories, though.
Yeah. We just needed the water first. Just
For you two. Correct.
okay. Well, let's keep looking. I'm gonna keep an eye on our store. I'm not gonna let anyone get it.
Okay.
The Patty, give me a roll.
Okay. -2. What am I rolling with?
Notice, investigate.
Investigate.
I mean, neither.
That'd be a minus.
They're both the same.
No, investigate's +1.
Okay. Oh, I put that on the wrong line for you. My bad. Duly noted.
So. God damn it! I really don't want to use it here. Fine. This is a -1.
Okay. Then what do you guys keep doing? What are you doing?
Well, we got water.
How does the room look? Do they look pissed at us?
Give me a roll.
Straight up type that in the wrong chat. That's +2.
They clocked the shit out of the amount of water that you just pulled out of that counter. You have several people looking at you.
How many do we have total again?
10-ish.
Okay. Problem is if I gave one to each of them, then we're already out. Krill looks to Patty.
Hmm.
Can we give them 5?
What? Why are you giving away our
Why?
food? No.
No.
Because do you want to be torn from limb?
I will shoot them in the face.
I will put a bullet in them. I will shoot a fucking child right now.
And with that, the group does in fact hear those statements, and they seem to be aggroed by that.
God damn it.
One of them steps forward with a pipe in their hand, and they are going to take a swing at Karen.
Can I make an immediate reaction to just quick draw shoot this bastard for even attempting to get close to Karen?
He's gonna take probably a swing first.
I think we will establish Krill's got a fucking trigger finger here.
Yeah, but sort of. Karen, I'm gonna need a roll from you.
Mm-hmm. +2.
Before you can even, as Krill is saying this, as you guys are talking amongst yourselves, saying that you're gonna shoot these people, Karen, a pipe slams into your shoulder. Take 1 stress. Now you guys may react.
Yeah,
Krill.
claw cannon just glowing bright blue as plasma erupts from its cannon.
Give me a roll.
That is a +1. I would still like to spend a fate point to give me an extra +2, and the we haven't used it really yet. The voices say to do bad things.
Okay, who do you shoot?
Oh, I am eviscerating the person who just laid hands on Karen.
Okay. You
So it's a +4 total for shoot.
Yep. The first one just it absolutely just this smoldering fucking like cavity in their chest where this plasma hits them as they fall over by Karen's side. The looters in the store immediately start like clustering and like hunkering down and breaking off into groups.
As soon as that happened,
Listen.
Patty. Oh, you go for it.
I was just gonna say, I was arguing to share some fucking water, and then you go and do this. I do not want to make all of you into a puddle of blue, but I will.
Give me a roll.
+3.
You see 3 of them break off and start heading towards the exit.
Correct. Follow the survival instincts. Should know better when there's a predator in the room.
Patty?
Patty was about to say like something to scare them, but Krill's got that under control at this point. And basically she's just like, all right, get the food out, let's go. And we'll just basically keep an eye on the store, just not even letting it out of sight at this moment, just
There are
get moving.
as you take that first step forward, give me a roll, Patty.
Okay. +2. I am liking these rolls.
You somebody you see a hand come around the corner and fucking pop off a couple of wild rounds in your direction.
Do I see that hand?
Yes.
And, like, can I grab it and just knock the gun out of it?
Give me a roll.
Okay. +0. That's a fight or athletics?
I will allow either.
Okay, I'm going to go with athletics. So that's a +3.
You hear a yelp as you bring that arm down on your knee and the wrist just gives way and the gun drops. And now you've got some dude's arm in your clutches.
Got his piece and just says, "Don't be fucking stupid," as she's basically yelling out to whoever just did this. You want to live? Don't do that.
Three more of the group seem to make their way towards the exits.
Yep. All right, let's hurry up. Let's get moving. Too many eyes.
Holding her arm, hicks the dead person once. You son of a bitch. While also looking down to see if were they carrying any food?
Give me a roll.
God damn it. -4.
Jeez.
They were.
Jesus.
They were. And it has been eviscerated by that plasma. They were they had it in a front sling baby Bjorn. And it just but it does smell. It smells like kind of toasty vanilla, sort of, burnt creme brulee sort of territory. Yeah. Smells good.
Why do I feel like I've had this before? My God, this flavor's familiar. Huh, weird.
Adding on the inside, even as she's in the focus. Note to self: Karen's a cannibal.
I mean, what's a little long pig amongst friends?
Okay.
No. Oh, sorry. You go
I
ahead.
was just saying, last little search around just to see what food we can find.
All right.
There's two still in here.
What do you do?
Do you really want to just be embarrassed like this now? The last thing you need to be doing during this awful moment is trying to heal off a wound. God forbid I just take off one of your limbs, because, well, then I would have something to play with and dissect. But I don't think you need that right now. Can you even find penicillin, antibiotics in any of this? Do you know where to look?
Give me an advantage roll.
Oh, come on.
Confirmed.
The dice said yes. How about another?
In Pathfinder, you confirm a crit. In Fate, you confirm a -.
Yep.
That's
-1.
twice now.
Confirmed.
Twice this session. I've rolled double -1s on an advantage.
Yep.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. You hear hushed whispers, sort of like going back and forth, and it's sort of, you hear this, no, you, no, I'm not gonna. And then there are a couple more rounds popped off wildly, and somebody goes sprinting.
Like, at the front again, someone just spraying and praying.
Yep.
Okay, just get as close as she can to the side as that another one just fucking knocks it out again
Give
too. As
me
they
first. Give me rolls.
From everybody?
Yeah.
+0.
+2.
-1.
3 in a row.
Turkey.
Krill, one of those ricochets just sort of nicks you in the forearm and take one stress.
Krill's head, the neck does not move, the shoulders do not move as the head just. I see you.
Yeah, and Patty will just ram into the side as she just goes to try and grab the arm and just knock out the gun again.
Give me a roll.
That's a +1.
You're rolling
Athletics again, +3.
3. You grab the arm, but a struggle ensues. The gun does not drop. You feel somebody like yank back at you.
Okay. As soon as they're yanking, she will point the gun and very much kind of pointing where they can visibly says, "You don't drop this gun, I will kill you." And she's basically putting emphasis behind that threat.
Give me a roll.
It's a +1. So if intimidation,
They drop
+5.
they drop the gun.
Okay.
Yep.
Fucking Christ, people.
Now, was the last one the one that just shot Krill?
Yeah.
So the claw gun actually closes as the panels come back in smooth tight. And you kind of realize there's just a really big point there now. As she just lunges at them with the full weight of this basically door rammer with a crab claw point.
Give me a roll.
So that's +2. And with my fight, that should be a +3.
You impale a motherfucker right as they're looking at Patty, going, "It's cool. Can I?"
Patty's putting that in the backpack.
Regrets right when you were right after shooting me? That's how everyone should be, honestly. She just chucks the body off of the tip there.
Karen, you see this moment of just complete surprise as she had disarmed this person, and then Krill just fucking comes in, and in that moment, you know that moment when Patty just locks in, and then she just tightens the jaw and says, "All right, we need to find the rest of the food."
There was 2 people left. You disarmed one. I thought Krill just got the other.
No one else is fired around.
2 people. One round shot and one sprinted to the front.
Oh.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Krill just tries to see if they have anything on their person.
Give me rolls all around. You may roll with advantage.
+2.
It's a 0 so far.
You rolled with a royal?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out why that one didn't work. I got a +2.
+1.
Okay. Okay. Patty, you find enough food for yourself for a day. Karen, you find enough food for yourself for a day. Krill, you find enough food for yourself for 2 days.
No, okay. Is that enough for a person for 2 days or Krill for 2 days?
I
Because
said
we've
what I
already
said.
addressed her calorie intake. Okay. Okay.
I don't mince words.
Okay.
She's just holding an entire, like, back of the house 7-Eleven thing for, like, frozen taquitos. There's, like, 60 in here. They're not sold to people at the front. They're cooked and then given. So I feel I have success.
Okay, let's go. Let's move. And she'll just grab as much water and they just start making their way back to the base as she'll just open up the metal door. Everything's inside. Close it, lock it. Okay.
Well,
Krill?
no. As much as you would like to just do
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I
Sure.
didn't see that
That's
happening.
fine. That's fine.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
fine.
As
we're
much as you
walking
would like
down the
to
street.
narrate your way around that.
I had to try.
Uh, give me a second. I have pages. Um, Krill.
Yes.
Give me a roll, please.
+2.
As you are walking down the road, as you're making your way back, you notice something. There is a light, an emergency light by the entrance of the central terminal. That is flicking on and off.
Krill doesn't even take a moment to think about what this is. Can't actually read. God damn it.
I bet it's in Morse code.
It is a Morse code. I'm just trying to get a.
Caboose, what shenanigans is Kai never up to?
Okay, I can't find one that fucking works.
Like a Morse code translator?
Yeah, no, they're all fucking bugged and don't work. Most of them are. Of course. Of course, Kai has it on hand. Oh, shit.
What does it say?
Grid known. 04. Auxiliary active the stacks.
Isn't that the same thing you saw in the terminal earlier?
Yes, it is. Listen, we can play Survivor all we want, but I want to know what's going on.
I mean, we're covered at this point. I want to know too.
Good.
We need. Okay. We need to tell Troy what's up. We haven't told him about what we saw in the terminal.
Maybe he'll know.
We'll
what
go
the
talk to him
stack
about it.
means.
We will. He's still got plenty of power for now, too, so we'll figure it out. All right.
Make their way to the door. No other issues. All good. Right, Kai?
Krill's helmet comes over to give herself extra optics
Oh,
to scan on the way.
actually, all three of you give me rolls on the way back in.
Okay. -1.
+1.
+1.
And why do I feel like I just had a student say, "Hey, didn't we forget a test?"
Okay, Karen, Krill both had +1s, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Patty, you are leading this charge, or are you behind? What's your position?
Behind in this moment, just watching out for anyone behind us trying to come at us.
Okay. Karen and Krill. You smell food cooking.
I fucking swear.
Does it smell familiar?
Yeah.
Krill just has like the helmet just like unclicks for a second. She's just laughing to herself. Of course. Nothing scares him. As they walk to the opening little pavilion.
Shutters are still down.
But the smell is still coming from
Mhm.
the booth. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Following our nose?
We can
There's-
smell it from down the street.
Oh,
Krill says it loud enough that
fucking-
Jigu can probably hear.
the little shit's cooking right now.
I mean, what did we just go do?
Okay, but besides the sound of a single blast, nothing's gonna bring people over all that readily. This is pretty attractive.
Okay. I'm gonna drop this off. Go check on the little shit. And she'll just bring all the food and water over to the base. Just start hauling it over.
Are you around, Jigu?
No, Miss Karen.
Fair enough. It smells wonderful. I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks so.
Let him try.
Fucking fair. more long pig for us, right?
You got the keys to our place anyways, landlord. If they try enough, we've got spare ammo in there.
The door next to the shutter opens a little bit. Who's in a position to through the door?
Probably Karen.
Karen, you can see that there's a stock room like off to the left, and like you could see the shelves, like just one side you could see shelves, and there's plenty of fucking produce. And if you recall, give me an advantaged roll.
-2.
0.
He doesn't use electric burners like everybody else in the city does. So, like, there's a degree here of, like, he's just, without being a prepper, he's just prepared. Like, this is, he's set. Like, none of this really affects him. He's got candles for his, his parents' shrine, so he's got a little bit of light in there anyway. That he's just kind of set. And he cracks open the door and looks at you and goes, "You good?"
I mean, for now, yeah.
All right.
There's still a hose out here, right? For like water.
I
We
wouldn't
need it.
count on that working.
Fuck. All right. Shit. All right. Figured I'd ask. We're probably okay for a couple of days. We just picked up some supplies. Do you need anything?
And you see him like look over his shoulder and then look back. He goes, "I should be good for maybe 11, 12 months."
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna outlive all of us. Nice. All right.
He looks at you and
Good
his
for you.
eyes soften a little bit and he goes, "That was going to happen anyway, Miss Karen."
Yeah, I know. It's interesting to get smacked so readily
he's
with
like,
it.
he's like, "Hey, old woman."
Even Krill's just like, okay, that's kind of good.
He's like, "Yeah, I should be fine." But if you get hungry, maybe, let me know.
We
Appreciate
won't
that.
tell Patty.
Uh,
Always good to know that I have a friend nearby, especially right now. So,
of course I'd feed that bitch. She's my property after all. Got to take care of your property.
Oh.
don't want
Fair.
it to decrease in value.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Be safe out there. Like I said, I should be fine. I should be fine.
Okay. All right. Yeah, the only one we're worried about really right now is old Troy bot over here because he can't, eat.
Oh yeah, the whole electricity thing.
Yeah. But, other than that, we should be fine.
All right. Well, if you get, scared or overwhelmed, just, I'm here for you.
Yeah, okay. Karen just laughs. Okay.
It's nothing since the death of his parents has really phased this child. His world already fell apart. So the city crumbling around him is really a non-event.
Oh. Okay. You know what? Thank you, Jigu. So now I feel normal.
You're welcome, Miss Karen.
Well, don't set the place on fire.
Feels like everybody else is already trying to do that anyway, so.
Yeah, we don't need the help.
Well, concrete doesn't burn that well either.
I'm sure we can find a way.
Closes the door.
As soon as it closes, Patty will come out like half second later, be like, "So he good? The little shit's still alive?"
Oh, yeah, no.
All right, cool, good.
That's good.
Hey, gotta keep an eye on that little fucker.
Did Troy come back out with you?
Troy is just sitting on one of the chairs. Karina, your drones, or Krill's drones, have been largely ignored by Troy. I don't know. I don't want to take over your drones for you, so you will be.
Yeah, but they're A, in low power mode, and B, aren't they rather used to that? You
Yeah.
never really described Troy playing with them or even giving them much attention. So I don't think they would suspect much different.
For the most part, Troy has been slowly scrubbing through some of his most recent data for anything. particularly leading up to the moment that he was disconnected from the net when the power went out. Should I roll for that, or?
Sure.
All right. That's a -1.
Troy went to the edge of the logs where there was nothing and everything. And looking at those few moments before everything started to just go away, what he finds is it's as if the system itself shut down. There's nothing attacking it. There's nothing forcing it. There's no extraneous commands. There's no external DDoSing happening. In those final moments, it's as if it just went away.
Patty, as you just see Troy sitting there, silently,
Yeah.
you hear him sort of kind of whisper in a long, drawn-out voice, "Strange," before he suddenly perks up again as soon as you call his voice, or call out to him, and he looks over to you. Yes, Patty?
You good? You figure something out?
I don't know. There's a lot to process right now.
Okay. Well, we just figured something else in the meantime, so if we maybe see some things connecting, see some distant shit, hop on out in front.
You just kind of see Troy's joints shudder a little bit as he reactivates them, that since he was sort of standing by in a low power state, as he slowly stands up and turns. You found something?
Yeah, Krill, what was the thing that you saw?
Grid node 04 aux active the stacks.
Does that shit mean anything to either of you? What the fuck is the stacks?
Went through my own personal notes and can't find anything that relates to Grid 04 or the stack, so is there any chance that Troy could do a lore roll or something?
Always.
That's a
feel like-
-3.
Well, this is your opportunity if you want to re-roll.
It's power grid node 4. Is that a node for the entire power grid or is singular locations?
Has Krill shared the exact text or just spoken it to them?
Krill shares the exact text just to be sure. As well the Morse code doing it similarly. And that is this. Oh my god, will you just select the part that I need you to, Discord? Just that.
Stacks.
I'm afraid none of this seems to be familiar to me. I have several instances of the NSF map saved into my memory banks, but I cannot find anything that we have visited recently or have passed by or seen that would refer to as the stacks.
You can remove the quote on the beginning of that. Sorry, that's a copy from my notes. You don't need the quotation on that. That means nothing. I will just convey that now.
Figured.
But the formatting is correct.
It's more like a command prompt.
So there is a return after power.
Roy, after looking at that for a moment, just sort of ponders a bit and states, this formatting appears similar to several forms of commands.
Oh, what? Something's trying to activate something?
Something is currently interfacing or interacting with something and sending commands.
You think they're going out?
I don't know.
This
So-
command was
Or-
received twice, mind you, not even just once.
Or someone is trying to get someone else to enter that command somewhere.
You said you saw this in Morse code on a flashing light?
And a terminal
Correct.
down below.
You saw this on a terminal. Where would we
Yes,
go?
specifically in the lower levels, in a maintenance terminal.
And the terminal turned off as soon as you approached. Like, didn't that
That
happen?
could have been purposeful. That also could have been coincidental. Maybe they're spoofing what sends the command every time.
Do you think that could turn a portion of the city back on?
Potentially.
I'm not normally one for superstitions, however, I have a hunch. I don't believe this was coincidental.
What's going through your brain?
I'm not sure yet. There's a whole lot to consider if what is happening is what I think is happening. But an unlikely hypothesis now. There may be more than one entity.
We figure out where this is going? Do we figure out where this is located?
I don't know where this is located. Node 4 can refer to several different things. Do any of you are familiar with a location called the Stacks?
We were hoping you would, as this is the main bit of information that clearly gives the most details, and none of us know what it means.
But it's coming from the central terminal.
Came from one central. Well,
No,
it's coming from central terminal right now in one of its lights.
and the terminal we saw was in central.
Mm.
Like we
Was
just
it
went
at central
we,
terminal?
we just went down. We didn't go forward, left, back, or right. We just went down. I think we have to go back. If we want to figure out what the fuck's going on, that's where we gotta go.
Okay.
It's a place to go, but it's somewhere where we can find out more, enter this somewhere, interact with this somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get Troy to interface with this thing, then maybe we can figure out what the fuck's going on, who did this, turn the power back on?
I hope so.
I don't know.
Right. No.
I do have the strong feeling that it involves our little robot friend actually doing some of this. Just a hunch.
Does it look like I got hacking skills? No.
I believe you're referring to Krill's rogue drone.
No. What?
B?
No.
No.
You think they're involved in this?
Actually, that's a good point. Have you checked in to see if you can talk to D at all lately?
Nope. You get a weird energy from Krill right now. Anyone with an empathy level can get that at the very least.
Keeping your distance?
More like looking from the outside.
Well, if now's the time for Mama Bear to check on their baby, this might be it.
Not if it gives away their position due to an outward signal.
Would it?
Very well could. If we can find those military fucks by catching their channel hopping, somebody can find D via that.
Maybe we take that risk? Like,
How would you be able to get info from D? If D wanted to get a hold of you.
D can notify me at any moment.
Okay.
even with all this
If
shit
they
down?
wanted to talk, yeah. D is only up and about because I am active right now. I just don't simply have... I just decide to not have my tails on them the whole time.
So, the kid's off doing something. Maybe they started a whole... in the meantime, we have a thing that is basically shining out in the middle. This thing happening.
You're breaking up again.
Okay.
Okay, I thought that was just my headset again.
So, there is a thing shining out in the middle of the fucking... I'm trying to do a thing. Maybe I'm important for the city power. Whatever turned it off. Maybe we should check it out.
I agree. Let's go that way.
Okay. Got all our
Krill
shit
walks up
covered.
to a locker. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Just go.
Krill goes up to one of the lockers, grabs one of her rifles and a couple of magazines with it. Troy, I know it's not your specialty, but we're not going unarmed today.
I have literally 0 forms of programming revolving around firearms.
Better to have it than not.
If you can point a vibrator, you can point a gun.
Didn't stop you from killing somebody before.
It was entirely accidental.
Still worked.
We need those odds at this point. Alright? We are about to head into some heavy shit.
Then I would suggest if I am ever required to use this thing, that you do not stand downrange.
That's fine. Okay.
Valid.
How? You must have some targeting protocols in there.
I have basic self-defense protocols. Was never designed to operate or handle firearms.
The whole point isn't here mostly for you to shoot it. It's mostly as a piece. If someone sees you with it and you look like you're ready to use it, that makes it harder and more risky for them to fuck with you, okay? That's the key here. We're running on showing our dick first in case someone comes at us, okay? Minimal conflict, most show of force, get our way through, get it done, okay?
I will try.
Okay. Here's how the formation's going to be. Karen front, Krill second, Troy third, I'll lead up the back. keep us in that direction. Keep our eyes out best front, and then I'll keep watch the back and keep us safe. Okay?
All right.
Okay.
You're handing Troy a rifle, right, Karina?
Yes.
All right. So when Troy holds the rifle, he's literally just like holding it, like just out in front of him, in no particular like standard formation.
Okay. Patty's going to actually hand the pistol and says, "Here, this is a little more manageable. I'll take the rifle."
Troy just kind of awkwardly handles the rifle back to you and takes the pistol, and it's like not properly in his grip.
Yep. She takes it, turns off the safety, checks the barrel, makes sure that everything's clear, and says, "All right, we ready to roll?"
As ready as I will ever be.
Remember.
Did he just pull the trigger?
No,
It looked like-
he corrected the orientation of the pistol into his hand.
Okay.
Remember, keep your finger off the trigger unless you're ready to fire. Don't point it at us. And don't point it at the fucking sky.
But don't I need to have the finger on the trigger in
You
order
pull-
to fire
you put-
it?
You put your finger on the trigger when you're ready to fire. You better only be pulling it or having it there when you're ready to. Okay?
Troy takes his finger out of the little like ring guard on the gun and just points it straight.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. Let's move. Just
While
wait.
Troy follows you, his hand is constantly just pointing up in this direction with the gun in it.
Patty will just adjust the hand down, just point towards the ground. If you're not aiming at someone, point it at the ground.
Am I
All the
aiming at the
same.
ground?
Yeah, because if you accidentally misfire, it flies off, it could hit us. Don't want to deal with that.
You know, ricochets off the ground are a thing too.
Yes, but it's a little harder to do that way than flying in the air. Just go. Let's not overthink it. Let's just move.
I'm following.
Grill's locked and loaded and starts marching. Confused why she's in second instead of just we all know where we're going. And Karen is squishy, so I don't know why she's up front.
Do you want me to be in the front?
Krill will go into the front.
Okay.
Girl, go up front. There you go.
I was just placing the leader in the front. Whatever. All right. We start making our way to Central Terminal.
So it is still quite a whole vibe going on outside. I mean, it's only been not that long. So you guys got out, managed to get yourself situated, get yourself some supplies, get back to base, get your shit together, and now you're heading out on an away mission. Some people are stranded at Central Terminal because they're from residential stacks that are, on the other side of the city. They're halfway across town. Some of these people, honestly, don't even really know where they are. They're lost. They don't have modern communication systems. They don't have orientation systems. Their trains just took them to where they would go, and their HUDs would guide them home. There is an inordinate amount of people who have become hyper reliant on the level of technology of NSF, and in this moment, it has been removed. There are people who have always on connected HUDs that now don't have data feeds. They're used to getting information when they interact with people, and they're not getting that information anymore. When they look at a place, it tells them what that place is. And so there are people who are basically newborn babes wandering around the streets, in addition to people who absolutely know what's going on to, well, one degree or another, and are taking advantage of that situation. There are people who are attempting to like maintain some sort of sense of civility amidst all of this and are like, hey guys, let's just figure this out. And very quickly getting Lord of the Flies, out of the way, right? Like this is chaos incarnate in a city that has never known actual chaos. NSF is insane, it is intense, it is dystopic, but there are rules and systems and regulations and reliability built into the very nature of NSF. And in this moment, the unknown has returned, and there are millions of people who have no comprehension of what it is to operate in an unknown space. And you are wading out into that ocean of uncertainty with these people who are essentially pinballs that are just bouncing off of stimuli. So, everybody give me a roll.
Whee! There's a +2.
+1.
+1.
Okay, everybody give me your stealth rolls. Whatever, do your math. Tell me your numbers.
1.
0.
2.
1.
I was not gonna gotta reopen my character sheet. Going to assume it's 0 because I wasn't designed for this. That is correct. I have 0 in the stealth, so I rolled a 2 though.
Okay, so Karen and Troy are the stealthiest motherfuckers here right now. Not
The fucking shimmering pink robot is somehow the stealthiest person here.
I did get that wrong. It's actually a +1.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Patty in this moment is like leading up the back. Is just an exuding of an aura. Don't fuck with me and don't fuck with them. I very much if you touch my people, I'll put you down. 1 bullet per person.
All right, so as you make your way into the streets, you see off in the distance, maybe 450, 550 meters down the street, you see the beginnings of the reaction of some of the corpos. You are seeing enforcers starting to round people up and cordon things off.
Uh-oh.
Well, their fiefdoms are unprotected.
Keep moving. Don't want to be there when they come around here. And we just keep moving. Just don't stop. Just keep moving our way and we're like, yep, cool. Keep going.
All right. As you get closer to the central terminal, you encounter a mass of people, and on the front of that mass of people seem to be some organized robbers. Like, we have the equivalent of modern day highwaymen that are now operating and basically checkpointing people who are trying to flee the central terminal. And they've got them at a pinch point. And so they're just alleviating people of their goods as they come out of that main entrance.
Earl, can you navigate us back to where we came out?
I don't see why not. hatch should be just up this way.
All right, lead us away.
Go wanders through the alleyways, always checking over shoulders and even popping her helmet on occasionally just to give her those extra eyes.
As they're moving, she's making sure highwaymen are not following them.
You do seem to have gotten the attention of one of them, and he has tapped another one of them, and they are looking at you and sort of drifting your direction as you pull off.
Okay. As we pull into an alley, Patty's going to say, as we get a little bit in, pull off to the side, let them pass, and then we'll put the fear of fuck into them.
And if they don't pass, if they check the alley that we turned down to in the corner we're in, jump them.
Yep.
They do not check the corner. They do not check the alleyway, and they pass by.
All right. Keep going. Cheers.
It's just up the way here around a dumpster.
Okay. How you doing, Troy? Doing all right?
I am still functional.
Aaron? Okay. All right. You want me to head in first or head in last?
Well, first thing, let's get all of ourselves embarrassed. Hey, Troy, do you see this hatch? Could you really help us out and just open it with ease?
You had difficulty with this previously, didn't you?
To be
Very
fair, we
much
were coming
so.
up from the bottom side, so.
I was able to infer that.
Give me lore rolls the whole way around. Except you, Troy.
+2.
Also plus
Oh, -3, so -2 in the end.
Karen, you left this hatch open.
what I thought.
Oops.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
And it's still open.
no, it's not.
No.
Well, anyway, Troy's reaching down to open it up.
Hold on. That was open when we left. Could be Varangian. Could be some assholes. Whatever we're doing there, we're taking a risk. We all good with that?
Krill gets close to the hatch and does an actual proper, penetrative scan. Do I see any sensors getting powered by individual battery sources or anything? Maybe can I sense and smell any gunpowder residue or C4?
Give me your roll.
If we're using investigation, which I'm hoping that's a +2.
You detect nothing.
As far as I know, it shouldn't be trapped.
Okay.
Should I proceed?
Maybe we point
Uh,
some guns down it just in case.
Yeah. Open it. I'm gonna keep an eye.
All right. Troy leans down and grabs the handle and lifts open the hatch.
Make sure you're leaning back when you pull it.
Troy leans back. Do I need to do a roll for this one, or is Troy probably strong enough to lift this?
Narratively, you are strong enough to lift this.
Okay.
As soon as that happened, Patty just leans over slightly and just aims just to see what she sees.
Nothing. Clear passage.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Would you prefer that there was someone in our way?
Yes.
Troy looks at Karen and Frill.
It's Patty. What do you want?
Paranoia likes to be validated.
Okay. I'm gonna go down first. I'm gonna sweep the location, and then I'll give a knock on the fucking metal when it's clear. Just wait a few seconds before you follow me down. And I'm gonna sling the rifle around and just start heading down as she just moves down.
Give me a roll.
Okay. -1. I'm going to invoke old instincts here, where she is in this moment knowing that if she's coming down, she might run into something and come into some kind of conflict. So she is like very acutely aware, very aware of the specific that someone would come at her. So as soon as she would get down, she would be able to instantly pivot and maneuver out of the immediate line of fire.
Okay. As you make your way down, you begin to hear just off in the distance, you hear footsteps more than anything else, and you can sort of hear chatter maybe.
Can I make it out?
Not really. It's too, you remember down the hall and through a door sort of situation. It's somewhere over there, you think, but the tunnels and the nature of this space, you can hear the percussive nature of feet, you think, and maybe voices.
Her first instinct is to like hit her codex to try and communicate. So Patty is just listening a little bit longer, straining her ears as best as she can. Hopefully it isn't approaching any closer before she gives the signal to indicate they should come down.
Nothing seems to be getting closer. No.
Okay. And just knocks loud enough for them to hear the vibration, and then we'll post up listening and pointing towards the direction of the sound just to watch for anything that's approaching. Can I actually make an aspect here as I'm posting up?
Give me a roll.
Okay. -3. Unfortunately, I can't use that last fate point right now. So she's trying to post as best she can, but likely it's a very awkward spot, and the angle is just not very becoming to where she can best protect her people in this moment.
Okay. Everybody else, are you coming down?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. You enter this, space that you have evacuated from once already, and now find yourself back in. It is dark. It is dingy. It is, those emergency lights are not looking good. They're pretty much last legs. They seem pretty fucking dim at this point.
I heard steps that way as she points in the direction that they were coming from. They're not getting any closer, but we have movement that direction.
Is that the direction that we need to head in?
Is it, Kai?
Yes.
Yes.
Should I put my finger on the trigger now?
Not yet.
Understood.
I'm gonna take a point. I'm gonna see what we see, find what we can find, and go from there. If it's Varangian, oof, but hopefully not. And she's
Brill,
just
maybe stay pretty close to Patty, because if you can hear better than she can, maybe you can hear what's going on better.
I agree.
Okay. The stick in my back as she kind of just sinks towards the side and just moves up as they get closer, and she just sits there waiting for Krill to listen in.
As you get
Oh, I thought that was a prompt to roll.
as you get a little closer, give me a roll. Whoever's closest, give me a roll.
Can I use that roll?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll go with, she can hear the best, so she's not technically closest, but she's right behind me, so yeah.
She's got better ears.
Mm-hmm.
I've got fishy ears.
You hear, let's see, +1. No, it's equal no matter what, so it doesn't matter. Okay. All right. All right. You hear the word, the unmistakable crack of abruptness from a soldier's voice. You hear, Hammer Team, update, perimeter secured, no major resistance, civilians scattered, no sign of objective. There's a pause, confirm, grid loss total. There's a pause, affirmative. There's a pause, a longer pause, and then you hear another voice say, that's if it was hidden. We still don't know what the hell we're looking for down here. Footsteps, movement, fading.
Fading? Okay.
Patty's
Krill
staring
gently leans
directly.
back.
Yeah. Patty's staring directly ahead at that moment, watching desperately, and she probably won't immediately notice if you do anything.
Soldiers don't even know what they're looking for. They're reporting the entirely lack of grid power, and yet we know there is power going in and out somewhere, turning terminals on and off. But it is a singular target they are going after.
Was it fucking Varangian? Are they approaching?
They're leaving this. They're going further, not closer.
You see her shoulders visibly drop. Okay. And she'll just, beckon Troy and Karen over.
Troy approaches.
Tell them that you told me.
Rangian is searching for a singular target that they do not know if it exists or doesn't. They have no eyes, sight, or understanding where it is, but they also think the entire power grid is down when we have seen proof of it being turned on in select locations.
Odd. If what is occurring is what I think is occurring, there should not be a physical target. Perhaps my multiple entities theory may hold more merit than I initially anticipated.
Multiple entities theory.
Quote, that's if it was hidden. We still don't know what we're looking for down here.
Patty takes off her sunglasses for a second, and just you can see the pink and purple eyes, and says, "We've got Varangian soldiers on the ground. They are in force. They are organized, and are, like you said, they're searching for something. If they're here and we step inside, we're in their way. And they sometimes have a tendency to shoot first, ask questions later. In this case, very much a shoot first policy." Are we
See,
good
don't
with
be
doing
seen. Got it.
it? Yeah.
I'm following your lead, Patty.
Okay. Krill, just keep your ears out. Those things are keeping us alive right now.
We'll continue to do so.
Okay. Are we heading back to the terminal that we saw this at first? Is that where we're starting
I
from?
believe that was the target.
Okay.
Yes.
How much farther? Akai?
Not that much further in physical distance, but given the speed and nature of how you're operating, you know,
It's going to take a minute.
fast distances to cover when
Yeah.
one
There's this
has...
moment as Patty is staring ahead, right? And she's looking, thinking of all the different directions, and there's this moment where Patty is like breathing a little heavily, and you can see the adrenaline kicking a little bit. You can see the different spots where she stares, and there's like shadows, and she's like, and then she has to take this moment. And the camera pans up for a moment as it kind of goes a little above, and the 4 little dots kind of form as they're starting to make their way. And as Patty is turning corners, starting to move, right? Like, not very quickly, very precisely, very carefully, listening for any detections by Krill as they're just making their way forward. Just getting to that central terminal, but first getting to that door into the terminal.
You make your way into the room. You slice the pie like a good operator would. You turn that corner, and there is no one in this space now. It has been cleared out.
Is the maintenance door open?
Yes.
Okay. Krill, stay at my back. I need you to listen in before we head inside.
Got it.
Okay. And they head forward towards the side of the door as she waits a moment as they both listen in.
Give me a roll, Krill. Give me a roll, Patty.
Can I just help her?
Yeah.
Yeah, just listening intently.
Then if she's helping, that is a 6 total.
Patty's just quiet for once. That's
Yeah,
Patty's
just-
help. She's like still.
Yeah. This is the moment where Patty kicks in the best. She is in the field. She is quiet. She is focused. She is trained.
Not even like workout breathing, just like straight up just
Oh, yeah.
nothing.
The only thing that can be heard from Patty in this moment, if you're listening tightly, is her heartbeat.
What heart?
Exactly.
Just shutting up for once counts as a +1. Krill, it was a 6 total.
Yep.
You hear just the faint voice walking away. This is you can tell that this is echoing down at you and from a distance. And the last thing you catch is possible something garble, breach, subterranean something.
Possible subterranean breach of something. Interesting. They're dealing with something from under the ground, blasting upwards or doing something havoc. Like, if they're getting pulled to action, I say we can be pretty confident with our next step into inspecting that terminal.
There's confirmed no one immediately in there.
No, they were leaving.
Troy and Karen will be brought up, and as they do that, Patty will walk inside and says, "Go to the terminal. I'm going to check the corners."
Give me a roll.
Okay. It's a +0. What am I rolling for here? Investigation?
I'm gonna put this down for your. I'm gonna put this down for either probably a shoot if you're posting up.
Okay. That's
Um,
a +4 then.
So I'll count you in position and ready to engage at a moment's notice if something comes up.
Yep.
What
Can I actually have that as an aspect?
you
Post
you,
it up.
You can count that.
Yes.
Um,
I'm trying to make sure I use those aspects.
what is everybody else up to?
Well, Troy was just told to head towards the terminal while he's being covered, so Troy's heading towards the terminal.
Aaron's following right behind.
Krill is posting up closer to the exit and keeping her ears out.
Okay. So what are you doing, Troy?
Well, is there anything? Any signs of life? Any signs of light? Anything cropping up on anything?
Nope.
Anything accessible that's
There-
activated?
There's nothing powered on at this terminal. It's just a basic old school terminal in a maintenance area. There's, some data ports on the side, but doesn't seem to be powered up.
Troy turns to Krill and asks, "Is this where you saw the first message?"
It is indeed.
There doesn't appear to be anything that I can do here. Power is currently deactivated.
No means of even opening a command prompt with it.
I can try.
Push turn again.
Troy is going to walk up to one of the data ports, pop open a finger, and plug in.
Give me a roll.
All right. That's a -2.
You want to use an aspect?
Yeah, actually, I might use his high concept. Former sex robot whose circus got fucked too. Technically speaking, it is possible to provide power over these data ports. Not much, granted. Probably just a few volts, but it's worth a shot. Could it just provide enough power to get some data? And I'm going to use that as a reroll. That's fucking -2 again.
Ugh.
There is not a whole lot that you just by plugging into a data port can do with a powered down terminal in its current state.
Troy just unplugs his finger and the little cap just pops back on, and he turns around to the group and says, "I'm uncertain where to proceed from here."
Mm-hmm. We could always go deeper.
You mean
I'll
towards
find
the
out.
soldiers?
Mm-hmm.
Troy looked over the Patty.
Addie's staring out as she's hearing this. I don't like it, but if we're trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, I have to take a few risks here.
It's the only lead that we have so far.
Is there some kind of central terminal for the central terminal?
Give me collective rolls, I suppose.
Right.
+1.
Where the hell did I go? I got a +1 too.
Give me your
If
notice
it's lore,
or
I got a 0.
give you notice or investigate, whichever is higher.
Investigate.
They're both
They're
the
right,
same
it's a
for me,
+2.
so it's a +2 in total.
Aaron has a +3 to notice.
Um. Well, you guys who got +2s notice that there is another door just down the hallway, like right there, that has a stair symbol on it. Karen, you notice that the ventilation shaft is now accessible, and has no moving fans in it anymore.
Ooh. We could do a little spy action.
What's the plan? Hit the internal infrastructure?
I mean, that's a possibility.
Taking the stairs gets us more likely noticed by the Varangians.
I was thinking... Let's see. We didn't bring any of our little drone friends with us, did we?
No, they're on low power mode right now. Similar situation with Troy. We don't want them hitting 0.
True.
Would they be useful in this situation?
They would have, yeah, but we'll have to make do without them this time.
Can't change it.
Alright. We going stairs or shafts?
Krill leans over to the shaft and gently taps it with her knuckle. Is there any, like, echoing and rumbling sound that comes from it? Or is it solid?
Give me a roll.
Sorry, I've got a cat that refuses to get off my keyboard. Azra, please.
Me.
No, there's no bitch.
That is a +1. And I don't know what you're asking me to roll with.
Investigate.
4 total.
It is not silent, but it is surprisingly sturdy in nature. And so your just simple knuckle rap on the side doesn't really cause much sound of anything other than the kind of thud on the side.
If we're soft-footed, we can take this path.
Alright. Seems like a plan. We good with it? Even you, Karen? You up for a little climbing through?
Is Troy even capable of fitting in this?
How big is it?
It is person sized. You're all capable of fitting in it.
I suppose I'm wondering, what is our goal? Like, what are we aiming for right now? Learning, right? Learning something, figuring something out.
Well, I said maybe there's a central terminal for the central terminal, right? If there's some system giving a communication for this node, maybe we can figure out the central source for it, and then we can figure out from there.
Honestly, any amount of information is a valuable tool right now.
I think we have learned quite a bit from tuning in on our military friends around us.
Sure.
At least trailing them a bit, seeing what we can hear, but knowing that is dangerous and keeping an eye out.
Yeah, I'm worried that these people are both trained and cybernetically enhanced for precision, tactical engagement, which includes being aware of your surroundings. If we get too close, it gets bad.
So how should we proceed?
So what's the alternative?
I'm not saying there is. I'm just saying if that's the route we're going, shit gets real. But we can, if we want to avoid them, take the shaft or take the stairs. Stairs is a little more likely to be noticed. Shaft is a little tighter. So we have some options here, right? I'm keeping us as safe as I can. Just keep in mind, certain directions starts getting real tight here.
Okay. My instinct is to send one, maybe two of us, probably Krill, through the ventilation shaft.
Do we have some communication systems at all? Are you going in blind?
Whoever went in there would have to relate us to any information they gathered after we meet up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who was the smallest and most stealthy amongst us?
Fuck.
I've got a +2 in stealth.
Got a +1. Well, should we poke our heads in where we definitely aren't welcome?
Sure.
It wouldn't be the first time.
If we're splitting, are we splitting or are we staying together?
Do you think you and Troy will make it through this ventilation shaft unnoticed?
I was not designed for stealth, as you have probably noticed.
And Karen looks up at Patty and goes, "Yeah, this one too." Do you want to go on the stairs while we hit the shaft?
Me and Troy hit stairs. You two hit shaft.
Meet back here. Say 45 minutes at the latest. An hour.
And then if we fail to meet, get back to base.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So remember exit strategy. Here, if available, any other route if not. Right? At the end of the day, getting the fuck out is the priority. Best method, do that. I don't care how, don't care where. Just don't fucking die.
Cool.
I can agree to those terms.
Okay. Okay. So, Troy and I take stairs. Y'all take ventilation shaft. We'll figure out from there.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds
Get
like
in.
a plan.
And Patty will hold her hands wrapped under to push them into the shaft.
All right, who's going first?
Krill is.
All right, Crow, give me a roll.
We're splitting the party.
+2.
Okay.
just got back together.
All right, Krill. You I need you enter you enter into this ventilation shaft, and it starts horizontally, but it turns vertical pretty quickly. Give me a roll.
A 0 on the die this time.
Okay, so you manage to maintain pressure. You've got your body is not made for anything like this, but you've got enough just mental control over your body to just tell it what to do. Right? It's not exactly a huge strain for you. It's just a matter of do this. Don't stop doing that, please. Thank you. Right? You make your way down this ventilation shaft. It's a bit longer than you initially thought it would be as you're making your way down. It's you're going for a hot minute there, and finally you reach the bottom, and it just sort of T junctions off, and you can see a grate and a unmoving fan, and then it goes off into darkness behind you. Karen, give me your roll.
-2, but I believe I will be modifying that.
Okay.
See. I mean, could do the Hein concept maybe. But it doesn't quite fit. God.
What do you want with again?
It's her stealth roll first, and then it'll be a physique or athletics check after that.
Mm-hmm. Suppose I could maybe spin the trouble, thinking that this is my place, this is my job. I thought this would be just something I could hop in and do. Thought it was mine.
Okay.
Now,
We'll see how the gods feel about that attempt.
God damn it.
What is that? A minus?
-2.
Oh,
Which would be a -1. It's the
Uh,
same thing I rolled the first time.
So
the dice were much more finicky.
give me another roll.
+1.
Okay. Karen, you are this is I mean, this is a workout. This is a workout, more of a workout than you are used to actually. You are actually like having to like pin yourself to both sides of this. You're like at one point you've got like one arm on one side, one arm the other, and you're like struggling to make your way down, and you're like, okay, I'll put my feet on and maybe push, right? You got to change positions a few times, and then no, I'm just sleeping. Then you hit the bottom, and with a noticeable dung, you hit the bottom. Stair crew.
Okay.
What do you do?
We enter. Door closes behind us. Yeah. And she's listening for any footsteps.
Okay. Give me a roll.
Okay. +2.
Okay. Troy, give me a roll.
All right, I figured.
Karina.
That is a 0.
Okay. So I have Patty and Troy. You guys are already a pair on my sheet. Patty, you are making your way down as quiet as a stairwell allows. There's definitely some noticeable sound, but as you make your way down, Troy behind you is just sort of walking down the stairs.
Patty will turn around. What?
I am sorry. I was not built for stealth.
I'm sorry, I wasn't built for stealth.
Were you able to pick that up?
Yes.
Okay.
Karen, as you look out through this grate past Krill, you see a pair of uniformed, fatigued legs walk past, and I kind of sworn I heard something over here. Krill and Karen, give me rolls.
Karina? Hello.
Sorry.
Give me a
You
roll.
good?
And a morning shift today too. Sorry.
-2.
-1.
A face peers down into the grate and sees Krill and Karen crouched down in there. And we cut to black.